Just that aspect of it is one of the things that sticks with me about coaching in all-star games.
We need to hear from both head coaches before we get to kickoff tonight. We'll get started with coaches' comments from East head coach Brian Cargill. He's from Cozad High. We'll get to that right after this 1-minute timeout on the
At TC and More in Scottsbluff, we believe it's the little things that make your house a home. Start with home decor. Brighten up any room in your house with flags, wall decorations, and custom art pieces. Next, brighten up your wardrobe with clothing and accessories like jewelry and purses from the Myra collection. And remember, seniors and military members receive an additional 10% discount. Visit our website, tcandmore.com, and like us on Facebook, TC and More, 1621 Broadway, beautiful downtown Scottsbluff.
High Plains Auto Club presents the Father's Day Rock and Roll Classic, Friday, June 14th. Registration begins at 2 p.m. at the Gearing Civic Center. The welcome barbecue, cruise for cash, ice cream.
Now is the perfect time.
West-Nebraska All-Star football here at Bearcat Stadium. Let's catch up with East head coach this week. He's from Cozad High School. That's Brian Cargill. First things first, Coach, you've been out here a couple of times now. You told me earlier, 2014, you were coaching in this game. Back again this year. What's the attraction? What made you want to head back out?
Well, it's a fun game for the kids to showcase their talents, and the community out here does a great job. Scottsbluff as a community does a great job representing, and it's always been a fun game to be a part of. I was also a player in this game back in 1992.
Outstanding stuff there from Coach Cargill. So let's talk a little bit about your roster. You got to put how long a process is it to get with your coaches that you're bringing out and try to get this roster put together and make the right decisions for everyone involved?
Well, as far as the accumulation of the roster, they got to get that stuff registered, sent in to Shane Halstead, and then after that, kind of goes through a 3 to 4.5 month process of selection, and then get the kids together and get coaches together and organize. So, about 4.5 months. So it's a long process.
What kind of team do you have? What do you think the strengths are going to be coming up tonight?
Well, we have a good talent. High intelligence level group of kids, really no drop off across the board. So, kids get in the game, we feel like they can do what they need to do and get out there and have some fun.
Obviously, when you've got a group of all-stars, there's a lot of different leaders, but even amongst a group of all-stars, you probably need a leader or two to step forward and kind of take the reins of who were you able to identify as those type kids?
Colt Munger from North Central's kind of been a standout. Adam Cole from Cozad, Gabe Sinner from McCook. Those are three just right offhand. Dalton Harker also was in that group, but really a great group of guys to work with this week.
You brought two of your own assistant coaches with you. If you got a few of your own kids, let you brag on those guys and what they've meant to your program. If you want to run through them individually, that'd be great.
Yeah, Drew Young's my offensive coordinator back at Cozad. He's helping us this week. Does a great job. Got a tremendous football mind, a great organizer. And Ron Bubach, a veteran coach for us, is my offensive line coach and defensive line coach back in Cozad. Has done a great job. Veteran, nearly 35 years now of coaching, so you pretty much irreplaceable as far as experience.
What about some of the kids you've got from your Haymaker program?
Well, Adam Cole picked him up. Of course, our quarterback does a great job. Was familiar with our system, so that'll be a benefit in the All-Star game here. Blake Hoffmaster was defensive back and wide receiver for us. Really high-level kid as far as football intelligence. Dylan Geyser came over with us, plays slot back and defensive back for us. Is great talent, good wide receiver, good speed, very quick. And we also brought along Josh Stahlbaumer, who, of course, he'll be a one-way player for us, but very strong. He's 6'4", nearly 300 pounds, and likes the weight room, and so that speaks good for a defensive tackle.
Speaks good for a head coach. You like those kids that like to be in the weight room. It's amazing in the year of 2019 that some kids don't quite get it, but that's where these games were won and lost, isn't it?
Yeah, and great character all around, really, for our team all across the board. And so I've been very pleased this week and impressed with the youngsters.
Game plan-wise, style-wise, what can we expect from the guys in blue tonight?
Well, we'll see some tight formation, I formation type stuff, and then some open 3x1, 2x2 type things, and then we'll run our base run plays out of that and concepts, play action.
So you were out here as a player way back in the day. You've coached twice. You notice any difference between the kids you played with or the kids you're coaching now and All-Stars in general, or have things pretty much remained pretty constant and the same over that amount of time?
Well, kids are still kids when it comes to the game itself. Technology is probably the only difference. We didn't have cell phones back then and that type of thing, so that was a little different. But, the game itself, back then, Nebraska was still running a 5-2 defense, so we ran a 50 defense back in those days, and everybody ran I formation. So little difference now in terms of the strategy of the game.
And we'll get you out of here on this one. A quick key to the game brought to you by Team Auto Center. What's it take for you guys to get one in the win column tonight?
Well, same as in any game, we get two closely matched teams. It's going to come down to turnovers and execution. So, we'll take care of business on that board and play well.
There you have it. Brian Cargill, head coach for the East, head coach at Cozad High. Coach, thanks for the time. Best of luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day. Thanks for having us.
We'll come back with more.
For the card-carrying fan, get your Husker Visa debit card so you can take the game with you. Free with First Free Checking.
Celebrating 25 years in country music, singer-songwriter Tracy Byrd performs live at the Midwest Theater in downtown Scottsbluff. You all know his music, The Watermelon Crawl, Hold in Heaven, and Keeper of the Stars.
Don't drive, do the watermelon crawl. The drinking bone's connected to the party bone. The party bone.
Tracy Byrd, live in concert Tuesday, June 11th at the Midwest Theater in downtown Scottsbluff. Tickets are on sale now, 632-4311 or midwesttheater.com.
Are you ready to join the celebration? Then what are you waiting for?
At Elite Physical?
My Valley Company's pregame show had a kickoff here at Bearcat Stadium. West-Nebraska All-Star Football Saturday night. Time to catch up with West head coach. Wrapped up his coaching career at the head level with Mitchell after this past season. That's Jimmy Rhodes. Coach, we've talked a lot of times over the years, so this is fun to catch up with you one final time. You got a bunch of All-Stars. What have you been making of your group the last few days? How fun's it been?
It's an opportunity to bring a bunch of alpha males together and to see them all gel together and compete and get after each other and push each other and all having one goal, and that's the win on Saturday night. And it's been a lot of fun.
You said they really strapped it up and got after it like it was mid-season practice with the circled game on the calendar.
Yeah.
I would have to say this is probably one of the more physical groups consistently that I've been around. Being able to coach in this game before and be around and being part of the committee, to watch people practice, this group, they want to stick you. And it doesn't matter who you are.
Okay.
If you're a linebacker and you're a fullback, they're running into each other and they're showing what they've got.
You mentioned a group of alpha males getting all together, but even within that type of group, you still need some leaders to step up and kind of take charge and be the ones that kind of get looked to handle things. Who have those guys been?
I will tell you there's been several guys in different positions that have came forward, but I will tell you the person that continually leads, he's holding doors open, he's high-fiving guys, he's getting the break with everybody is Mr. Pettit from Sydney. He's done a phenomenal job. Doty's done a great job too at the quarterback position, leading the offense, but together, those two, they're very powerful, and they've done a great job. Now, I'm not taking away from all the other guys and what they're doing, Reif Schneider and Delzer and all those guys, but I'll tell you, those two guys really stand out and so accepting of me and everything that we're doing and trying to accomplish, and they're just saying, yes, sir, and give me more, and give me more, and they're eating it up. And the reason why we give them a yes,
take the interview off.
Yeah, just bring me up.
They say yes, sir, and they don't ask why. They just go do it.
What about style-wise? What can we expect from a Jimmy Rhodes All-Star coach team tonight?
I'm going to be multiple formations. We're going to try and get guys in space. We're going to try and get our go-to guys, the football we have.
All right, we're going to cut Coach Rhodes short. We're going to have kickoff coming here. Just got a text message from Mr. Hawksworth. We're going to kick here in about, right about now. Opening kickoff brought to you by Papa Murphy's Pizza in Scottsbluff, as we've got West-Nebraska All-Star football coverage a few minutes before 7 o'clock here on a Saturday night. Kick's going to come down to be handled by Kimball Zane Anthony out across the 20. Jitterbugs his way, still middle of the field between the hash marks, tackled across the 30 and around the 32-yard line. And we are underway here tonight in Scottsbluff at Bearcat Stadium. Opening kick in the books with the West-Nebraska All-Star football game. West has it to start the contest here tonight. We'll get you their starting lineup. At quarterback, Eric Doty from Sidney. The fullback will be Tommy Bragg out of Gordon Rushville. And at tailback from Chase County, Evan Fisher. Coach Rhodes says this guy is an absolute load. We'll set the offensive line in just a moment. Skill kids at the wideout, Zane Anthony, Jacob Lemon, Keegan Reifschneider, and Lucas Paluchek. Reifschneider, we'll keep an eye on him all night long on offense, lined up as the split receiver to the right. They bring Anthony in motion across the formation. On a little option pass, trying to get Reifschneider open deep. He cut in on the little post route, and the ball went more towards the sideline. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the West.
Little option pass, start the game. Tried to get a corner to come up. Corner played his responsibilities. Followed Reifschneider right down the sideline. Quarterback really didn't have an option but to sail that one over everybody's head.
Sun's starting to peek out. We've had rain the last couple of hours here in the region, and more specifically for our purposes tonight right here in Scottsbluff. Rain we can handle, lightning, that is what we want to stay away from here over the next few hours. 2nd down and 10. Man comes in motion, that's Lemon. Handoff. Out of the shotgun as Doty gives it to Fisher, and Fisher crosses the 35-yard line. They'll mark him at the 36 for a 2nd down run of 3 yards. That'll make it 3rd down and 7. West in the red, East in the blue. Opening quarter, 15 minutes on the clock. Coach, what are some of the things, rules-wise, all-star games, bring some variations to the table as far as what you can and can't do?
Well, that 15-minute quarter clock is a lot different than the 12 minutes that we play with at the high school level. In this particular all-star game, you got to play a 4-man front. The linebackers got to be lined up even with the umpire, and that's to promote some offense. Woo.
Fisher on the carry. Pops one off tackle left side, just shy of midfield to the 49, a gain of 13 for Evan Fisher. 6'2", 205 from Chase County. 550 yards rushing this past year, 200 yards receiving, and Fisher picks up the initial first down of the night for the West All-Stars.
Little inside trap play. Nice block on the defensive tackle.
Eric Doty from Sidney High. Outstanding athlete, basketball, football. He's in the shotgun. Back to his left is Bragg. Fisher to his right. Fisher packing the mail once again. Coming up from the secondary to make a tackle. Actually, that's a rover, kind of an outside backer stunt for Blake Hoffmaster. 5'11", 175 from Cozad on the stop. Call it a gain of 1. We'll give it Fisher. Maybe got the nose of that football to midfield. It'll bring up 2nd down, and scoreboard says 9. We'll roll with it. Offensive line, Zach Pettit from Sidney at left tackle. Bailey Hood from Alliance, 6'2", 215 at left guard. Coach Haas's center, Cade Payne, 6'2", 230. Josh Swanson from Ogallala at right guard, and Jacob Krutzinger-Haynes from Dundee County Stratton at right tackle. We've got a whistle. And a timeout taken by Jimmy Rhodes before the snap of the football. We'll keep it right here. Coach Rhodes wrapping up his head coaching career. Coach Haas finished up at Mitchell this year. He's going to turn the program over to Nick Cookshausen, who's also an assistant for the West this week. So Coach Rhodes, longtime assistant at Gehring, then head coach, then moved over to Mitchell, did some nice things for the Tigers in the last few years. And now it'll be up to Nick Cookshausen taking over that Mitchell football program.
And that program's in good hands. Coach Cookshausen is an excellent coach. got a lot of faith in him that he's going to take the Tigers to good places.
J.J. Ozuna, nice nod for the six-man guy from Minutair. Made a deep run in the playoffs this past year, and Brent Bauer on the coaching staff for the West as well from Ogallala. Brian Cargill, the head coach for the East. Ron Bubach, one of his assistants from Cozad. Drew Young, also an assistant from Cozad. And you've got Dustin Kronhoffman from Arapahoe, who you guys ran into this past year.
Yeah, got Arapahoe in the first round. We were fortunate enough to get out with another first-round victory against the Arapahoe Warriors. Justin Davis had a really nice game that day.
Two receivers to the right, single receiver split to the left. I formation. Quick toss right. Trying to get outside is Fisher, and he's going to be stacked up and dropped. Grayson Gary comes up from the secondary to safety spot, 6'3", 180 from Broken Bow. And the thing about all-star games, Coach, defense is just read and react. You go fly, you find the football, and you put a helmet on somebody, and it tends to feel like defense can have some success, especially early.
Yeah, offense is just trying to feel out the game speed a little bit, see what they can run, see where they can get. The game is set up for the offense to be successful, but you got a lot of really good athletes on the defensive side of the football.
2 years ago, when you were up here, Brendan Bramer of Alliance had one heck of a night coming up from the secondary.
Brendan was a hammer that night.
Wasn't he?
He had a couple hits in that game that made us kind of shake our heads. Up at Shatter State right now, playing well.
Flag on the play, 5-yard mark off against the West, so now they're backed up behind the chains, looking at 3rd down and 16. Reifschneider in the slot to the left, Lemon in motion, right to left. They'll move Doty out of the pocket, out of the shotgun. Pressure on, pass is tipped, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by North Platte's Jake Johnson. Off the deflection, right into the breadbasket of Johnson, and he's got the pick. And great field position now inside the West 35-yard line. An interception on the opening drive of the night, and it goes to North Platte's Jake Johnson.
Tried to roll out to the left, which is a difficult throw for a quarterback. Looked like there might have been some confusion up front with that rollout protection. Got a hand in there, and just a tip drill for Johnson.
Scottsbluff went to North Platte in week 1 this past year and really took it to the Bulldogs. Of course, they did that to just about everybody all season long. Handoff, first play of the night for the East. It goes to Gabe Sainert, outstanding football player from McCook High School. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage, called a loss of 1 as the West defense bows their neck on 1st down tonight.
And there's one of Coach Ozuna's kid, Efren Lovato, playing defensive tackle. You know, tackling is one of those skills. Doesn't matter how many guys are on the field, you can still tackle well.
And if you can tackle at the 6-man level, that is a feather in your cap, because if you can't, you're in trouble. 2nd down and 10. Split eye, bobbled snap. And the quarterback is Adam Cole, 6'2", 185 from Cozad. And he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. One of the guys in on the stop that time, Gage Hakey from Sandhill Stedford. And we saw some dudes from Sandhill Stedford a couple years ago.
Yeah, offensive MVP, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and they also had probably one of the other top 2 or 3 players we saw on the field that night.
Yeah, just Sandhills had a really great squad that year.
10:56 to play in the opening quarter. We're scoreless, and it's a 3rd down and 9 situation for the East. Cole, wet football, could be on a wet surface. Ball never even got up in the air. Cameron Raffelli into the backfield, gets credit for the stop, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and long. Ball back outside the 40 to the 41-yard line. And it'll be 4th down and about 16 yards to go. So the East got the interception, and now the West gets we'll see if it's a 3-down stop. Looks like they're going to have a pretty thick change of personnel, so the punting unit going to come on for the East All-Stars.
You can play a little field position here early. There's nothing wrong with that. They were kind of in no man's land before that lost yardage on that play. Would have been an interesting decision for Coach Cargill.
Quarterback is Cole. He'll set up to punt. Left footer gets it away. Cameron Geary of Scottsbluff lets that ball sail over his head and into the end zone here at Bearcat Stadium. So No damage done for the West after the turnover. They'll go right back to Eric Doty at quarterback. We've got 9:50 to play in the opening quarter. And we are scoreless here in Scottsbluff. West will get the ball back for the second time tonight. And we'll see what Coach Rhodes, I told him the other day, Jimmy Rhodes is a head coach in an all-star game. That is a recipe for some fun with the playbook. You can dig to the back and find the trick stuff. We'll see what he's got tonight up his sleeve. Reifschneider on the sideline, dealing with a little bit of a thumb injury. Been off and on, nagging him since late last football season. 2 receivers right, 2 in the backfield. Little cross-buck action. They'll give it to Fisher. First man to arrive defensively for the East that time was Hoffmaster, a second guy in to clean it up. Hoffmaster forced it. That's a loss of 2 for Fisher. 9 minutes and 32 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Doty trots to the sideline, gets the play call from Coach Rhodes. Doty breaks the huddle. He'll have Paluchek to the left, Zane Anthony split wide right, Lemon in the slot. 2 backs in the backfield. Ball left hash. 2nd and 13. Handoff to Fisher to the second level. And eventually brought down on the play by Colton Munger. Munger from North Central. But a nice gain of 8 for Fisher.
I can now see what I didn't have a chance to watch Chase County play this year, but I can now see what Coach was talking about Evan Fisher being a load. Linebacker had to go down low on him, and Evan Fisher, it didn't even hardly look like he was touched, just kind of got tripped up.
Walking by him at the banquet last night, big dude. Physical-looking dude. 8:27 to play. 3rd down and a long 5. Lemon in motion. Got a whistle and a flag and a delay of game, it looks like. And that'll back the West back up to around the 30 and set it back to about 3rd down and 10. East won this game last year 21-13. We are scoreless right now in the first quarter with 8:21 to play. Defensive starters tonight for the East. Colin Jerome from McCook at an end. Opposite side, Colton Munger from North Central. Josh Stahlbomber, a tackle from Cozad from Bertrand. You've got Dylan Boggs. We'll get to the linebackers after this snap. Clapping his hands is Doty. He wants the shotgun snap. Looking left. He's going to try to find Paluchek. Had the defender beat by a step. Nicholas Neeson on the coverage got beat by Paluchek. The ball kind of floated a little too far towards the sideline. He couldn't come down with. He's a big kid, 6'1", 180 from Ogallala. Sets up 4th and 10.
It looks like the East playing cover 0, man coverage straight across the board. No help over the top, so the chance for a deep ball may be there. Looks like the defender maybe stumbled a little bit on the play, but that's going to be something to watch for the West, taking those deep shots tonight.
So the West with a turnover on their first possession. And now they're going to have to kick it away on their second. Jeremiah Delzer from Scottsbluff, the up back punt protector. 8:14 to play. Parker Dillon kicks it away, and coming up to field the punt, it's bobbled and muffed by Gabe Sainert from McCook. No flag down, and the West comes up with the turnover. Did you see anything there, Coach, or was that
just a really tough punt to field? Lot of traffic there. I couldn't tell whether he was thinking about calling for a fair catch. If he would have called for a fair catch, maybe would have had some protection there, but ran into some traffic and some of his own guys. Makes it very difficult to catch the ball.
So the West gets it right back across midfield now. They'll set up shop at the East 49-yard line. 8:06 to play in the first quarter. So a couple of runs to Fisher. That's about it so far tonight for the West. They'll line up in an I. Doty under center. Ball just across midfield. Handoff to the first back through. That's Gordon Rushville's Tommy Bragg. Fighting for some extra yardage. Whistle comes. Paxton Terry falls on the football. Kind of out in no man's land, but play had been blown dead after a 2-yard gain for Tommy Bragg, a short, stout, 5'8", 170-pound fullback this week for Jimmy Rhodes.
Another inside trap play. Looks like that kind of is going to be a staple of this West offense.
Doty back to the shotgun. Fisher to his right, Bragg to his left. Lemon in the slot. They'll motion him left to right. Ball left hash. Hand off Fisher. Nothing doing at the line of scrimmage. And he is brought down. I think we had a North Platte Bulldog, Brad Swanson, one of the first to arrive along that defensive line for the East, and it'll set up 3rd down and 8. No gain on the play. Bragg out. The substitute in for Bragg is the dynamic Keegan Reifschneider. He'll head to Chadron State in the fall. You made it down for one game in the postseason when they played York, and I know you're impressed with what you saw. He was an amazing defensive player that night, wasn't he?
I saw one of the most impressive high school interceptions that I've seen live here at Bearcat Stadium in the semifinals.
They'll roll Doty. Doty looks, pass intercepted. He wanted Reifschneider. It's picked off. That's Dalton Harkle Road. He's loose inside the West 35, inside the 30, and they will bring Harkle Road down at the 21-yard line. Really trying to maybe force it into Reifschneider there. That looked to be a couple of receivers in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, looked like they had a little route concept, a little scramble drill. Doty might have thought Reifschneider was going a different direction, and just kind of threw it right to the blue player, right to the East defender.
Hard to get a real read with a guy just a couple of days on quarterback, wide receiver, and some of that chemistry, isn't it?
A lot of that stuff takes a lot of timing and a lot of playing together and knowing what the other guy is thinking without actually verbalizing it.
Quick toss out to the right. McCook's Gabe Sainert from the 21 down to the 15-yard line. A pickup of 6 for Sainert. Sainert ripped off a long touchdown run for the Bison here in the regular season against Scottsbluff. Wasn't enough as Chris Busby dominated that night. A rare evening where McCook defense gave up 200-some yards rushing, and Busby was it was one of those nights where the kid was just feeling it, and he wanted the rock in his belly. Sainert wants the rock right now. He gets it back, knocked off his spot. First to arrive defensively was Braden Fowler from Valentine. 5:47 to play. We're still scoreless here in Scottsbluff at Bearcat Stadium. Gain of 1 for Gabe Sainert.
And it looks like right now, just in the battle of the trenches, that the East has the advantage. When the West has tried to run a zone play, the East has kind of dominated on the defensive line of scrimmage. And that same exact play that the East just ran, that the West was trying to run, they got great movement.
Adam Cole, the quarterback, rolls left, pressures on, 3-4 defenders all arrive really at the same time. Dan Dunbar from Chadron, one of the first to arrive defensively.
Might have had a receiver open, flash open for just a second, but another play where he's rolling to his left, that's just an awfully hard throw for a high school quarterback to make. Probably made a smart decision, lived to play on 4th down.
Receivers are always open, they'll tell you, Coach.
I don't know. We don't have a whole lot of receiving threats at Hemingford. We like to run the ball.
4:35, clock runs. Ball left hash. Cole going to roll to his right, dump it in the flat, and the pass is incomplete. Cameron Gary of Scottsbluff, the safety, up to defend against the intended receiver that time. That was Gabe Sainert, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
Turnover on downs.
Yeah, that was 4th and 5. So a turnover on downs. And we're 0 for 4 so far tonight. The East has been inside West territory twice. And now the West gets the football back, and they'll stay with Eric Doty at the QB spot.
We've seen a couple flash plays. We haven't really seen a sustained drive yet tonight. Kind of feeling each other out, looking to see what works, what doesn't. I'm sure we'll start to see some more sustained drives here shortly.
4:27, Doty looks left, throws the out route, looking for Reifschneider, and again, 2 receivers in the same spot with Keegan. And also there, that was Lucas Paluchek again from Ogallala. 4:22 to play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 situation. So again, guys wind up in the exact same spot.
Yeah, another deep ball shot play. But, you know, a lot of that is playing together, knowing where your guys are going to go. Looks like Keegan should have maybe kept it up the hash in the seam and kind of drifted a little bit.
He's in the slot left. They'll hand it off to Lemon. Kind of started out in motion right to left. Lemon across the line of scrimmage, shy of the 20 to the 19, a pickup of 3 for Chadron's Jacob Lemon. And you were telling me earlier, he's a good football player, can really run. Coach Rhodes was saying the same thing earlier this week.
You know, I just watching stats and walking by the kid in Chadron, well put together young man. I know he carried the ball a lot for Chadron High this year.
3 minutes and 48 seconds to play. Clock ticking here in the opening quarter. Scoreless. 41st annual West-Nebraska All-Star football game. Shotgun snap. Coming back right to left. And picking up enough, it looks like, for the first down across the 25 out to around the 27 or 28-yard line. 27 will do it. A gain of 8, and Fisher pops one for a chain mover for the west side here tonight. Under about 3.5 minutes to play opening quarter.
So where we're seeing the West have more success is when they run the inside trap play. They're getting angles on maybe some of those bigger East defensive linemen, and that's where they're having their success. Where we've seen the East have success running the football is just really straight at the West.
West of the line of scrimmage, looking at 1st and 10. Ball left hash on the 27-yard line. Trips right. Inside receiver in that set is Reif Schneider. Single receiver to the left. Doty, a design quarterback run. Gets in behind the offensive lineman. It looks like he's dropped at the 30 for a pickup of 3 for Eric Doty. I asked him about his favorite high school sports memory. Even though it was football week, it went to his junior year of basketball when Sidney beat Scottsbluff twice. They came back from down 20 late in the 3rd quarter at Scottsbluff, rallied and beat the Bearcats. And that is no easy thing to do. So a great junior campaign for Doty and the Red Raiders 2 years ago.
Those have been some battles, and you've been fortunate enough to sit on the sideline and watch some great basketball here in the Panhandle over the past few years.
Sidney Scottsbluff basketball never disappoints. This year, Sidney was really down, obviously, but over the long haul, the last handful of years, they have been something to watch, those two teams. We've got a timeout on the field with 2:27 to play. We'll take a timeout and come back after this 30-second timeout on the...
We can't warn Debbie that we just clean the window. Sorry. But we can make you a bowl of homemade chili. Runza makes it all.
Known previously as Angela's Bridal and Boutique in downtown Scottsbluff, now tuxedos and men's formal wear by Angela's. Brought to you by Weborg 21 Center. We are excited to offer you more one-on-one customer service. Whether you need a tux for the wedding, a suit for the office, or you're just ready to step up your everyday fashion. And don't forget our second location. Angela's Boutique is now located at Bianco & Company in downtown Scottsbluff, still empowering women to look and feel their most confident. The same great boutique, now just down the street.
That's just 41 years. That tells you it's got a lot of community support. The committee members have done a great job, and to keep it going that long is pretty impressive. 2nd down and 7. Trips right. Doty on the keep. He'll be stopped right at the 30. That's the line of scrimmage. No gain for Eric Doty, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 situation now for the West All-Stars.
So that time the West made it look like a read option, but it was a designed quarterback counter, pulling guys, trying to get that inside trap play to work, make it look a little different, and have the quarterback keep the ball.
Austin Wolf got the stop that time from Med Valley. You were there 2 years ago for a playoff game.
Another good one. They had a really nice team that year, got beat in the semifinals by South Loop, the eventual state runner-up.
Pump fake. They want Paluchek. Near sideline, Paluchek goes up, high points the football over the defender. And that was Bubak on the coverage, but Paluchek came up with the athletic grab, give him 20 to midfield and another, we'll call it 17 after that. No, check that, about 13 after that, so a pickup of 33 as Doty connects with Paluchek. 6'1", 180 from Ogallala. Had 27 grabs this year. 29 of those 29, 9 touchdowns. They went for 736 yards in total. Little flat pass. Little bubble screen to Lemon, and he is dropped well behind the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you what, you run the bubble, and I guarantee they got a bubble go, bubble fly concept in the playbook at some point. And Coach Rhodes watching the defender come up, fly up, and make the tackle on that bubble. I bet he's got in the back of his mind that they're going to go a bubble go at some point.
Behind the chains for the West. Second down, call it 15. Ball right hash. 2 backs in the backfield. 2 receivers to the left, the wide side. Doty gets the shotgun snap, hands it off to Fisher. The Chase County product. He's dropped for a loss. Back to the 45-yard line. Loss of 3 that time for Evan Fisher.
I'll tell you what, it's tough sledding up front, trying to run into the teeth of this East defense. Defensive linemen, pretty skilled players right now.
Third down. And we're going to get a timeout. Nope, clock's going to finish out here in the opening quarter. 0-0 as we've come to the end of the first. We are scoreless after 1 quarter of play. West and the East looking for a first point of the night. We will come back with the second quarter right after this 30-second timeout on the Rural Radio Network.
Sometimes events in life are planned. Others, a happy surprise. No matter what life change you're navigating, whether you're getting married or just want a bigger yard for your pup, find a home that fits. First National Bank North Platte. Start your mortgage pre-approval today. Retirement. A new season in life where you can change how you live it. And something easier, convenient, that feels just right. When it's time, find a home that fits. First National Bank North Platte. Start your mortgage pre-approval today.
That's why we're just trying to get everybody on the same page here.
This is break 6. Back on the Rural Radio Network here on a Saturday night. We get set for the start of the second quarter. Chris Cottrell and Jordan Haas in the press box tonight at Bearcat Stadium. Scoreless opening 15 minutes. And it'll be a third down and 18 situation on the way for the West All-Stars. We've had 3 turnovers already, Coach. A couple of interceptions thrown by Doty, Jake Johnson, and Harkleroad with picks for the East, and a muff punt from McCook's Gabe Sainert that the West recovered. And we'll see if these teams can clean it up a little bit here. Drop pass right on the numbers, and Paluchek, who came up with the athletic gram last quarter on the near sideline, unable to hold on to that slant route over the middle. That'll make it 4th down and 18.
You know, where if he would have completed that ball, wouldn't have been enough for the first down if he would have got tackled, but it would have made it a more manageable and maybe a decision time 4th down. Instead, we got a punt.
They'll snap it from the 45. Dillon's kick going to come down. We've got a flag down at around the 11. Gabe Sainert calls for a fair catch at around the 9 or 10 yard line. We'll check the flag. 14:50 to play in the first half. Scoreless here at the 41st annual West-Nebraska All-Star Football Game. Officials talking this one over. Now Jimmy Rhodes getting the explanation. We wait on the signal. Illegal substitution.
Might have had 12 guys on the field, 1 run off late. Pretty good field position with the punt, so Coach Rhodes decides to decline and pin the East back deep. They could have taken the penalty. and re-punted with a 5-yard advantage. But, downing a punt inside the 10-yard line at the high school level is pretty darn good.
Yeah, to make your opponent go 91 yards to find pay dirt, pretty tough to do on a consistent basis. Adam Cole from Cozad back at quarterback. We've got a ball on the turf. Mad scramble, who's come up with the fumble. No signal yet. Don't see too many hands pointing for either team. And it's the West that falls on it. A fumble. Had some rain in the area. Turf could be a little wet, and that could be causing some issues. And, of course, quarterbacks and centers that haven't worked together all that often.
Absolutely, and that's part of the feeling out process. That slick ball, we've seen a couple struggles with the quarterback-center exchange from the East. Now the West probably needs to take advantage of this. They haven't been able to move the ball very well. Going to have to cash in with some points if you're cheering for the West tonight.
Yeah, it's a must-have right now. 1st and goal. West has it at the 9. Fisher to the left of Doty, who's in the shotgun. Doty's looking to throw the football. Corner route. 6 ball that time for Paluchek. Doty to Lucas Paluchek from Ogallala. A 9-yard strike, and it comes with 14:26 to play in the first half. 14:26 on the clock. It goes Doty. Oh, and now we've got Celebration Central out there for the West squad. Flag down. I guess they'll have some fun. And I was looking down to mark my scoring sheet. What exactly was that celebration? It was a long line of guys, though.
It looked to me like it could have been a scene from Titanic. I didn't know who the point of the ship was. Had the arms spread out wide. An epic film from Leo.
Hey, he's going to be a new one. Have you seen that new Quentin Tarantino flick? Going to have Brad Pitt and Leo DiCaprio. Should be awesome.
Oh, all-star game, having a little fun. And the kids are going to remember that for a long time.
14:26 to play. Doty to Lucas Paluchek. Sidney to Ogallala, 9-yard touchdown. And Doty will kick the PAT. Snap is back. Now fire drill's underway. Rolling left. And throwing it to the end zone is Scott Wheeler. Wheeler was the holder on the play from Chase County. Ball falls incomplete, 14:26 to play. And for our Rural Radio Network affiliates, this will be break number 7. We are back after this 1-minute timeout.
High Plains Auto Club presents the Father's Day Rock and Roll Classic, Friday, June 14th. Registration begins at 2 p.m. at the Gearing Civic Center. The Welcome Barbecue, Cruise for Cash, Ice Cream Social. Saturday, June 15th, parade, show and shine, and awards banquet. To enter, go to highplainsautoclub.com or call 308-631-6573. This event is sponsored by Chalupka, Holyoke, Snyder, Chalupka, and Longoria, attorneys at law, and Nimnik Automotive, Dyno Tuning and Storage.
Fitness on East Overland.
High Plains Auto Club presents the Father's Day.
Logos in Gearing is the place to get all of your school spirit gear, personalized gifts, and promotional items for your business and employees, and banners for any special event. Logos is also the only place to stop for custom screen printing or embroidery. You can even design it yourself on their interactive website. Stop into Logos today. They'll design it, print it, and have it to you in no time. There's no job too big or small for Logos. That's Logos in Gearing. 14:26 to play in the first half. 41st annual West-Nebraska All-Star football game here in Scottsbluff at Bearcat Stadium. West has gone in front 6-0 on a 9-yard touchdown pass from Eric Doty of Sidney to Ogallala's Lucas Paluchek. And now we're going to have a penalty for a kick out of bounds, and then we're also going to have a roughing penalty right around midfield. I think this might be on Alec Maddox of Sidney. We'll check and wait on the call.
So the penalty for having fun, kick off from the 25-yard line, then you kick the ball out of bounds. This will be great field position for the East. Looks like we might have a personal foul.
This will go on the East on the personal foul. So Maddox was on the receiving end of that one. So this will be interesting to see how this all gets sorted out. Dead ball foul. 14:26 to play. West scored moments ago, and they lead 6-0. Caden Geiken of Gothenburg at left tackle for the East. Hunter Bose of North Platte at left guard. Brad Swanson of North Platte, the center. Starting at right guard was Broken Bow's Drew Drake and McCook's Colin Jerome at right tackle. So after it's all said and done, the East will have it at the West 45-yard line. So the 45 was for the kick out of bounds. Now they'll mark it back to 15, and the East will have it 1st and 10 at their own 40.
So after it's all said and done, with that personal foul, it would be just as if he kicked it out of bounds without the personal foul from the end zone celebration. So we're at the 40.
2 receivers to the right. Another fumbled snap for Cole. Picks it up, and he's just going to have to run right. Scottsbluff's Jeremiah Delzer on the tackle for a loss of about 7 yards. We near 1 minute played here in quarter number 2. Delzer with a 7-yard stop on quarterback Adam Cole, and they're really struggling with that center quarterback exchange right now, Coach.
Yeah, and hard to tell what the problem is. It looks like the ball is getting to the quarterback's hands, but I'm not sure if it's not an area he's used to having it. Just not sure without being able to see down there.
And they'll go to the shotgun now and fires it out to the left flat, and that pass was dropped by Alec Bunger from McCook, and that'll make it 3rd down and 16.
And the East has just really struggled to stay on schedule. They've gotten behind the sticks on the last, 3 possessions. And big physical team, you want to stay ahead of the sticks, stay on schedule so that you put yourself in a 3rd and manageable position.
2 receivers. Check that, 3 receivers. Trips left, single receiver to the right. Snap back, and they've got a new quarterback in. That's Grayson Gary. He dumps it off to Paxton Terry from McCook, and Terry will take it across the 40, which was the original line of scrimmage, and he'll be stopped at the 42-yard line. Gain of about 7 for Paxton Terry. Just a rock of a linebacker and running back for Jeff Gross and the Bison the last 2-3 years. Saw a lot of action really as a sophomore. Gary stepped in at quarterback. Spiraling kicks, going to bounce it around the 30. Cameron Geary lets the ball go, and that'll take a friendly bounce for the East team. And they'll mark it dead with the nose of the football now resting at the 10-yard line.
And if I had to guess, I bet Cameron wishes he had that one back and just took a couple steps up and fielded that punt, whether it was a fair catch. Lost about 15 yards of field position there and kind of shaking his head coming off the field. He knows that he probably should have caught that one.
Neeson down the football. 13:01 to play in quarter number 2. 6-0 lead for the West squad. They got on the board early in this second quarter with a Doty to Paluchek 9-yard touchdown pass. First play after a fumble that resulted in a turnover for the West defense. Doty sticks at quarterback. Receivers 2 to his right. Inside handoff again. This will go to Evan Fisher. Not a lot doing. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Ball just inside the left hash mark.
And right now, neither of these teams are having very much success running the football. Be interested to see which one decides to complete some passes and maybe open that up for their run game. Knowing both of these coaches, I know they both would like to run the football, but it's not working out right now.
And we've seen the one deep ball so far to Paluchek, and he's also scored the touchdown. Fisher gets loose, bounces it outside. I think he made that one. Or is that Trent Reed from Hay Springs? Yeah, Trent Reed with his first carry of the night. And some success there for Trent Reed. Big boy at 5'9", 190 for the Hawks during the fall.
A lot more traffic for Trent.
Yeah, how big of an adjustment is that, Coach?
It's a big adjustment for backs. Your vision is skewed a little bit just because there's so many more jerseys. Trent, bread and butter, got to the outside where there wasn't as much traffic for him.
He's in the backfield. They bring Lemon in motion. They'll hand it off to Lemon from Shadron. Tries to cut back, and he'll be tackled after a gain of around 5. Out just across the 25-yard line. Pick up a 5 for Jacob Lemon. 6 feet, 170. Shadron High Cardinal. Longtime head coach Mike Letcher. They find him backs every year up there, doesn't he? One way or the other.
He's had a lot of good ones, had a lot of success, had a lot of really good football players, some really, really good quarterbacks.
Trips to the right, that's the short side. Tightly bunched over near the near sideline. Doty, handoff inside. They run away from the trips formation. And Trent Reed picks up a 1 yard on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down. And call it 5. Under 11 minutes to play in the second quarter. 6-0 West on a Doty to Paluchek 9-yard scoring strike early in this second quarter. Reifschneider comes into the game now for the West. Doty's going to bring the play into the huddle from Coach Rhodes off the sideline. Bunger a corner out here on the left. You've got Nicholas Neeson out on the right. Doty under pressure and fires it over the head of Lemon. And that ball is incomplete. It'll bring up a 4th down and punting situation right now for the West. Really disjointed offensively, both sides of the ball so far tonight.
Yeah, we haven't seen a team really get in a rhythm. We've seen a couple nice plays, couple big plays, but we really haven't seen anything be sustained yet.
Whistle, Coach Cargill, one of his assistants, far side out near the 40-yard line, having a conversation. Not too sure what that's all about.
It looks like that might be Paul Edens with the rules, maybe talking about some sort of rules adjustment or clarification.
Yeah, that is Paul Edens. Committee member, official. Got the West-Nebraska pullover on tonight. Coach Cargill alongside him. And he's getting pretty animated with these two officials with their backs to us. 10:21 to play in the first half. 6-0 West with the lead on the East team. Volleyball this afternoon. 4-1 for the West team. Your West MVP was Emerson Siza from Alliance. She finished with double-digit kills this afternoon, and she'll be up at the University of Wyoming come the fall.
Really nice volleyball player. Emerson had a great career at Alliance.
Not too often you get a volleyball match for West-Nebraska that's got two D1 players on the same roster with her and Kiana Wilfred. That's some decent talent.
That's some very decent talent. And these all-star games out here in Scottsbluff have seen their fair share of talent over the past few years.
Was impressed with Mackenzie Anderson from Ogallala. Thought Annabelle Gillen set the ball well, passed well from Mitchell. She'll play at WNCC this next year for Coach Canales. 4th down. They're calling it 4 on the scoreboard. Whatever that rules clarification was, we are ready for live action once again. Snap back to Dillon. Knuckleballing kick. Fair catch called for and made by Gabe Sainert of McCook inside the 35-yard line. And the East will have it 1st and 10 at their own 34, just inside the left hash mark. 10:16 to play in the quarter. It is 6-0 with the West in front of the East. East gets the football back. Will they stay with Grayson Gary at quarterback? Looks like they will. Gary from Broken Bow, 6'3", 180, well put together. And they will start him under center with a pair of McCook Bison behind him, Paxton Terry and Gabe Sainert. Nick Bocott Slot receiver to the right. Gary hands it off. Sainert. Stutter stepped his way. Took it off the right side. Short gainer of about 2 yards. Clark Reeson from Shadron in on the tackle.
More success with the quarterback center exchange there. And now they're on schedule. 2nd and 7. Pretty much anything in your playbook is available to you. Have a chance to get to 3rd and manageable and start a drive out.
Yeah, after you see the fumbled snaps and being behind the chains, you get a quick appreciation for 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Not a bad thing. Handoff goes to Sainert. Cameron Gary of Scottsbluff in on the stop, first to arrive, but Sainert takes it across the east 40-yard line to the 41. And it'll be 3rd down and 3, a pickup of 4 for Gabe Sainert playing his final football game. Last competitive athletic event for Gabe Sainert in his career, just shy of 1,700 career rushing yards, 29 total touchdowns, and academic all-state to boot. His grandfather played for the Nebraska Cornhuskers back in the late 1940s, and he'll be at UNL in the fall. Play action pass. Gary looks near side for Chandler Stinson. Oh, no, check that. Intended target was Jordy Gutierrez from Arapahoe, 5'10", 165. Ball is incomplete. And a punting situation now for the East squad. 8:46 to play in the first half. Adam Cole started at quarterback for the East. He's in punt formation. 4th down and 3. Light rain falling here in Scottsbluff. Cole, the lefty, gets the kick away. Gary, we really wanted to field that one after he let the last punt go, but wisely, once it got by him, decided to stay away.
Yep. Bouncing, rolling ball, there's probably nothing good that's going to come out of that, so made a really smart decision just to get away from the ball and take his medicine. We'll start our drive at the 18.
Yeah, and not as dire considering the last time it was inside the 10, so the West will have it. 1st and 10, ball left hash. 8:36 to play. West has it at their own 18-yard line. Eric Doty's gone the distance so far here in the first half at quarterback for the West. He brings the play to the offensive huddle. West of the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Wide side's the right. Lone back is Fisher. Reifschneider in motion. That gives 3 receivers to Doty on the left side. Right side, Fisher is going to be brought down by Brad Swanson of the East. Got the back of that Fisher jersey, didn't let go, and a loss of 4. Yeah, call it 3, Coach. 2nd down and 13. They've got it marked at the 16-yard line. Come up on 8 minutes to play. In the first half. Receivers, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Ball inside the right hash. Doty in the shotgun. Whistle and a flag. And they're talking to one of the linebackers for the East. That's Brendan Seitsinger from Gothenburg.
A rules violation. Misalignment by the defense.
So that'll put the West team back in front of the chains now for this 2nd down play at 2nd and 8. And they've got it now at the 21-yard line. Reifschneider, slot left. Lemon, slot right. Zane Anthony, an outside receiver. Quick little button hook route, and Anthony's got the catch across the 25. Brought down at the 27-yard line, a pickup of 6, and that'll make it 3rd down and 2. His uncle, Mark, I talked to him yesterday. He played in this game in 1979. Finished with, I think he said 4 catches, 47 yards. So Zane Zane was hoping to top some of those numbers, and he had a dig for his uncle. Said that vintage game jersey from '79 didn't quite fit him as well. Doty on the quarterback keep to move the chains. He's got it out to the 30-yard line, a gain of 3, and it'll be 1st and 10. Opportunity here for the West, coach. They've got the 6-0 lead. 7 minutes to play in the first half. They just moved the chains. If they can start to kind of string some first downs together, really start to make a dent and pick up some momentum and take charge of this thing.
Absolutely. And we're seeing those quick routes. Spreading them out a little bit, trying to get them spread out of the box maybe. Inside trap play.
There's Fisher. And the 6'2", 205-pound Chase County back Evan Fisher with a nice gainer on first down. Just got a text message from Dave Hawksworth. Said they're going to trim halftime down to 10 minutes. Do all they can to just try to avoid any sort of rain or situation with weather, I think, as the evening moves along.
Yeah, I'm not a KNEB meteorologist by any means, but maybe a little dark.
Yeah, it is. I'll give you this. You're probably as good at weather as I am, Coach.
Well, that would be probably a failing grade for both of us.
So keep us off the air with weather reports, Bill. 6 minutes to play. We come up on the 6-minute mark. The inside give. And not much doing for Evan Fisher. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down and 2.
Now with the defensive rules, since you can only bring 4 down on the line of scrimmage, that makes quarterback sneak on these 3rd and 4th and shorts a very real possibility. We just saw it on the last 3rd and short. We might see it again here.
2 receivers left, Paluchik and Reif Schneider. Lemon and Zane Anthony to the right. Doty from Sidney in the shotgun formation. Smacks the hands. That sends Lemon across the formation. And a timeout taken by Jimmy Rhodes with 5:12 to play. Will break as well. 6-0 right now. West leads the East. 5:12 to play. Break number 8 for our Rural Radio Network affiliates. We're back in 30 seconds.
High Plains Auto Club presents the Father's Day Rock and Roll Classic, Friday, June 14th. Registration begins at 2 p.m. at the Gearing Civic Center. The welcome barbecue, cruise for cash, ice cream social. Saturday, June 15th, parade, show and shine, and awards banquet. To enter, go to highplainsautoclub.com or call 308-631-6573. This event is sponsored by Culver's Restaurant, Massett Chevrolet, Robinson Electric, The Meat Shop.
Create something special.
It's not going to happen.
41st edition of the West-Nebraska All-Star Football game here tonight in Scottsbluff at Bearcat Stadium. Halftime will be trimmed down to 10 minutes. We've got 5:12 to play right now in the first half. West took a timeout. They'll have it 3rd down, call it 2 on the scoreboard. Ball at the West 38-yard line along the right hash mark. Doty in the pistol right now. Now he'll go under center. Cade Payne snaps the football. It's loose. I think Doty got it.
Cade got a little excited on that one. Got out of his stance pretty early. Stood up. Tough snap when you're trying to go silent count. Quarterback sneak there.
So that'll make it 4th and 2, a punting situation. Cade, of course, outstanding for you. His older brother, Denton, they've done a lot of good things for you the last 4 to 6 years.
Yeah, the Payne brothers have been outstanding offensive linemen. We got another good one. Jack, going to be a junior for the Bobcats this year. Just a hard-nosed, tough player.
Sainert receives the punt right around the 25-yard line. And Zane Anthony from Kimball down on the stop makes the tackle shy of the 30, so a little 3-yard return. And the East now has it, trailing 6-0. They'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
How many tackles did Zane's uncle have? Because he might get him on that.
Yeah, he didn't mention that one. He didn't mention that one. 4:29 to play. Zane does have the one grab here in the first half. Two receivers to the right. It's Grayson Gary back under center, the second quarterback of the night. Quick toss to Gabe Sainert from McCook. Runs right, gets across the line of scrimmage, far sideline, across the 30, and dropped at the 31-yard line. That'll be a gain of 3 for Gabe Sainert. His lead blocker from the fullback spot is his high school teammate Paxton Terry. Talked about those Scottsbluff-Sydney basketball games. Nothing better than game week during the regular season for Scottsbluff McCook.
Well, I'm a little busy in the fall, but I would love to get down and watch one of those. Great high school football.
Handoff, Sainert. Packing the rock across the 35 to the 39. That'll be a gain of 8, and that'll move the chains. There have not been a lot of first downs for the East team so far in the first half tonight. That's good to see for them right there.
There hasn't been a lot of first downs, period. Both offenses kind of struggling right now, trying to find out where they can attack these tough defenses.
The only points we've seen came off a turnover on a first and goal 9-yard touchdown pass the first play after a turnover. That's all we've had so far. 6-0 with 3:30 to play in the half. Handoff. And running left as Gary gives it to Harkleroad, who had the interception in long return earlier tonight. Chandler Stinson of Alliance in on the stop up from the secondary to make the tackle. Gain of 3 for Dalton Harkleroad.
And you could tell that the footing isn't ideal. I think Harkleroad might have had a little concerned about slipping on that play.
Gary under center. It's 2nd down and 7, under 3 minutes to play. Ball left hash. Quick toss. It's Neeson. Made one man miss. Unable to get back to the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 1 for Nicholas Neeson from Juanita Palisade. 6 feet 180. Or check that, North Platte St. Pat's, 5'10", 165. 3rd down and 8. Ephraim Lovato around the football. That kid rushed for over 1,800 yards for Coach Ozuna this year. And Coach Rhodes told me the other day he's got some great quickness. They stuck him along the defensive line, and no one could keep him in front of him.
Well, Ephraim's a great athlete, great football player. Watched him compete in track, threw the shot put. Good sprinter, just one of those great West-Nebraska athletes.
You packed up at camp today with your guys up at Chadron State. They must do a real good job up there. How many teams were at camp? How long were you there? And how'd it go? Not just for you, but just in general for everyone.
Yeah, Chadron State team camp is one of the best team camps I've ever been around. They do a really great job. Have a ton of coaches and players up there helping your kids. 4-day camp. Get 5 scrimmages, 2 competition days. I'll tell you what, I'm excited for the fall for the Bobcats. Got a lot of guys in the weight room right now and taking advantage of the summertime.
3rd down and 8, 2:20 to play. Ball between the hash marks. East has it at their own 41. Gary pump fakes left, look back right, and there's Lovato once again on the stop. Can't quick, and he makes the tackle. Line of scrimmage was the 41. Gary picks up 2, and that'll make it 4th down and about 6 now. We go under 2 minutes to play. We'll see if the West is able to get the football back and maybe do a little something with it here late in the half.
Bobcat Justin Davis back deep to return.
There we go. He won't get a chance on this one. A shank coming off left. It bounces at midfield. Goes out of bounds at the West 49-yard line. Yeah, you mentioned Justin Davis. I mean, he burst on the scene. You could tell when he was a freshman he was going to be a dynamic player, and then suffered a really bad injury his junior year. Was it your final game or the game before Med Valley, or was it the last regular season?
Last game of the regular season. We were able to grind out a first-round win against Overton, just kind of taking 3 yards at a time. Really missed him in that game against Medicine Valley, missed his speed. And his leadership. Came back to have a really good senior season. Had a first-round playoff game with 300 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns for the Bobcats.
Yeah, that'll do. Snap to Doty. Doty going to put it in the air. Ball is underthrown.
And it's a good thing that it was that underthrown because the defense didn't have a chance to pick it. If it would have been a little more on target, that might have been the first points for the East today.
Neeson from St. Pat's, the closest to the ball. You had Sainert defending on Reifschneider, who was about 5 yards further down the field as the intended target.
From watching Doty throw the football, it looked like he might not have had the best grip on it. Tell you what, we've seen some issues with the wet field.
No doubt about it. Snaps, footing, grip on the ball. We've seen all three of those things so far tonight. Fisher, as they run it right up the gut, across midfield, tackled, I believe, just shy of the 45. That'll be a gain. See, I think they might put the nose of the football, and Fisher a little slow to get up. Now he's on his feet, tapping his helmet, asking out, and they will put Trent Reed in as his replacement. Gain of 6 that time for Fisher. Chase County Longhorn.
And this is one of those areas of the game as the clock winds down to a minute. 3rd and 5, you don't want to give the East too much time, but if you convert, you want to give yourself a chance to maybe get some points.
Yeah, Trent Reed's going to come up a yard shy, hurdled the defender middle of the field. In on the tackle that time for the East squad was Hoffmaster from Cozad. It'll bring up 4th down and 1. So what do you want to do here? Kind of balance it, milk a little time in case you don't get it, but also go for it and leave yourself enough time to take a few shots.
Well, I think as a coach you have the confidence in your team that you can pick up a 4th and 1.
Trent Reed fighting for it. I don't think he got it.
I don't think he got it.
He never got the lean forward.
Oh, he broke a couple tackles in the backfield. Really good surge by the East, but this is what we were talking about. They did a good job of managing the clock on that one. There's only 20 seconds left. East has to go 58 yards into the wind. We'll see. They're probably going to take a couple shots down the field, maybe get a penalty, maybe get a complete pass. But 20 seconds, not a lot of time to go down here.
Trips right, single receiver to the left. Grayson Gary, the quarterback, the broken bow signal caller, steps up into the pocket. One to roll out to the right, instead comes back left. Fires a pass, it's intercepted. Chandler Stenson of Alliance with the INT at around the 32-yard line, brings it back to the 40. 8-yard interception return, and the pick for Stinson. That is our 5th turnover of the night. Stinson with the INT here late in the second quarter. 3 turnovers by the East. We've seen 2 turnovers, interceptions from the West team. 5 combined, and with 9 seconds to play in the first half, it's the East still in front, 6-0. Evan Fisher not back on the field. It'll be Trent Reed.
Looks like we have a little prevent here by the East. Might be time for Jimmy Rhodes' trick play. Got one up his sleeve.
He's got 10 up his sleeve, Coach.
Maybe a lateral action. The other option is maybe I'm not sure what Doty's arm is like, how much he needs to be able to throw it into the end zone. Quick hitch play.
Reifschneider on the catch across midfield. His first grab of the night. They get out of bounds with 2 seconds to play at the 40. That's a gain of 19 as Doty hits Reifschneider.
And now you got a shot at the end zone. Might see a little Hail Mary time.
That was perfect, really.
Yep, that was the second option that I was getting ready to talk about. Pick up a little chunk. Give yourself a chance to throw it into the end zone.
So a nice gainer there from Doty to Reifschneider. Made his fair share of plays and then some here at Bearcat Stadium the last couple of years, but this past year, his senior season, was really something to see each and every Friday night. A timeout taken by Jimmy Rhodes, and they want to talk this one over.
I'm guessing that they don't have a Hail Mary in the playbook. They didn't install that during the week. So they'll probably have to call timeout, talk about the formation that they want to run, talk about the personnel grouping that they want to get on the field. Take your shot.
I've got a call here. Trips one side, the taller Paluchek. See if you could maybe get him even with just 2 deep backs deep on him.
Yeah.
Throw a jump ball up to him. He already had the big catch along the near sideline earlier.
Pretty athletic young man. Then on the flip side, if you're Coach Cargill, I'm not letting that kid. I'm going to bracket him. I'm not going to let that kid catch a ball over my head. Make somebody else catch it. I'm going to guess that we might get 3-by-1 trips to the boundary. Nope, we got trips to the field, and Paluchek is ISO on the high side of the field.
So he gets some safety help. He's got Neeson giving him about 20 yards of cushion. They will loft it. Slot receiver closest, that's Zane Anthony. Ball falls incomplete right around the goal line. Do keep in mind we're going to have a 10-minute shortened halftime session here tonight. 2 quarters in the books. It's the West with a 6-0 lead on the East All-Stars after the first half of play. End of the first half. We'll be back right after this 1-minute timeout on the
Exceptional care, right here at home. That's the mission of Morrill County Community Hospital. Morrill County Community Hospital is a 20-bed critical access hospital that owns and operates clinics throughout Bridgeport, including specialty outreach clinics and Morrill County Home Health Clinic, as well as Chimney Rock Medical Center, located in Bayard. Our dedicated team is committed to you and our community every time at Morrill County Community Hospital, Bridgeport, Nebraska.
Would your child thrive in a Christian environment with highly qualified teachers, small class sizes, and high academic standards, but still have time for hands-on learning, service projects, and play? A school that feels like family, where biblical character and strong study habits are taught daily. At Community Christian School, we offer all the core academic subjects along with Bible curriculum for preschool through 6th grade with a daycare on site. Call us today at 632-2230 or check out our website at ccsnev.com and discover the difference. You see if CCS is the right option for your family.
And b-csteel.com.
Halftime of the 41st annual West-Nebraska All-Star football game here in Scottsbluff. It is definitely a fall feeling, a Friday night fall feel in the air for Saturday night action here in Scottsbluff at Bearcat Stadium. Right now it's the West in front 6-0. The lone points of the night come one play after an East fumble inside their own 10-yard line. West took it over, took straight to the air. A 1st and goal 9-yard touchdown pass from Sidney High quarterback Eric Doty to Ogallala wide receiver Lucas Paluchek. Covered 9 yards. The PAT snap wasn't the best. Scramble drill, and the pass to the back left corner of the end zone fell incomplete. PAT no good. 6-0 our score here at the break, with the West in front of the East. Take another quick timeout and come back after this 2-minute break on the road.
I'm Marcy Meyer, Vice President at Platte Valley Bank with your Mortgage Mythbuster of the Week. Some people think that building a new house is difficult because construction loans are too complicated. The truth is, our lenders will work with you every step of the way to make your construction loan go to work for you. The mortgage lenders at Platte Valley Bank are here to help you find the right programs to fit your needs and your budget. Stop in today. No question is too big or too small.
The pecan chicken salad and ultimate BLT sandwiches from Arby's. It's like eating a whole farmer's market.
Arby's, we have the meats.
For sandwiches.
June 23rd through the 29th is National Lightning Awareness Week. Make sure to protect your family and yourself from lightning. It's always a good idea to install lightning rods on homes and surge protectors in the home. Remember that lightning can strike many miles ahead of a storm front. Beware of weather forecasts and watch for developing thunderstorms. So when thunder roars, go indoors. This message is brought to you by Roosevelt Public Power District, your Touchstone Energy partner. the power of human connections.
It's a place unlike anything I've ever seen, where the whole focus is kids. From the community to the administration to the teachers to the coaches, everybody is doing everything they can for your kid. Kids get to play multiple sports, multiple activities. It develops a sense of responsibility, and time management is really helping to prepare them for life down the road. You know, what I would say to somebody that's considering Morrill is you're a person here that's really, really cared about and loved.
Provided by CPA firms. Call today. Let Troy Hilliard, Dale Escom, and Fred Lockwood work with you and your business. Located at 2021 Broadway in Scottsbluff, E&H CPAs and Management Consultants PC. Innovative, trusted, proven.
Halftime West-Nebraska All-Star Football Game, 41st edition. It's the West leading the East 6-0. Coach, before we kicked off, you talked about some of the things that make this game special, and it just showed itself here in the press box. Guys that you coached last year, a big pack of them, roll up top here, open the door, want to say hi to you. That's exactly the type of memories you were talking about making.
Yeah, and just a prime example right there. They said they were trying to get my attention down in the stands, and so they just showed up at the press box door, hugged them all up. Good to see those guys. That's a huge impact on my life. It's just special, the relationships that you create, and obviously they're still in contact because they're all here together. They said they wanted to get a reunion, get everybody back, and come watch the game.
So you coach football because, A, you love football, but you coach because of those things right there. You love helping mold young men.
Yeah. Words don't describe how important that is to me. And just that's real special, having those kids come up, say hi. It's really nice to see all of them. And I've seen a couple of them, been in contact with a couple of them during the school year, during their freshman year of college. And yeah, that's the relationships, and hopefully they're taking some lessons and becoming great young men.
6-0 our score right now at halftime. The West with a 9-yard touchdown pass early, 14:26 to play in the second quarter, right after a turnover, a fumble from the East, and Eric Doty hit Lucas Paluchek. Sidney Tuogalala on the touchdown strike, 9-yard pass, and the PAT wound up a scramble drill and an incomplete pass in the back left corner of the end zone. A 6-0 lead right now for the West, and again, they shorten halftime, just try and make sure we don't run into any weather situations any sooner or any later than we need to here tonight. So a 6-0 lead for the West. We'll take another timeout and come back after this 2-minute break on the road.
We can't warn Debbie that we just clean the window. Sorry. But we can make you a bowl of homemade chili. Runza makes it all better.
At TC & More in Scottsbluff, we have toys and puzzles for your children, or they make a great gift. TC & More has craft activities, pretend play toys, and dozens of puzzles and games for all ages. We also have the largest supply of Melissa and Doug toys. And we still carry all of your classroom essentials. Remember to like TC & More on Facebook. TC & More, 1621 Broadway, beautiful downtown Scottsbluff.
Take your career to the next level with Chadron State College's online Master of Business Administration program, taught by experienced professors who care about your success. The accredited, fully online MBA program is backed by CSC's more than 100 years of education leadership. Flexible 8-week courses let you work at your own pace wherever you are, and CSC's experienced professors are committed to your success. Chadron State College, real people, real results. Join us today at csc.edu.
High Plains Auto Club presents the Father's Day Rock and Roll Classic, Friday, June 14th. Registration begins at 2 p.m. at the Gearing Civic Center. The Welcome Barbecue, Cruise for Cash, Ice Cream Social. Saturday, June 15th, Parade, Show and Shine, and Awards Banquet. To enter, go to highplainsautoclub.com or call 308-631-6573. This event is sponsored by KNAB Radio, 94.1, The Brand, City of Gearing Keno Funds, First State Bank, Logos.
Fresh grilled burger? Be a factor.
Yeah, those are great, but pretzel bun.
Okay, well, jury's out. Come try the barbecue bacon and Swiss burger on a pretzel bun and decide for yourself. Because Runza makes it all better.
Scottsbluff Gearing and now open our new location in Chadron.
All-Star football Saturday night in Scottsbluff here at Bearcat Stadium. A 6-0 lead here at halftime for the West All-Stars. And, Coach, you and I were just talking moments ago. It's a little chilly out here. It doesn't feel like weather we should have in June. This feels like a fall Friday night that we'll have here a few months from now.
Yeah, it feels like late September. My golf game has just been really suffering from some of the spring weather and our early summer weather. I just have not got the chance to swing the sticks as much as I would like to.
I've played 5 rounds of 18, and I am nowhere near anything that you would call good, but I wanted to make a concerted effort to play more this spring and summer, and you're right. It hasn't allowed any sort of consistency with getting out and doing it.
Yeah, Mother Nature took your effort and
and said I'm undefeated.
Yeah, yep. But no, this weather tonight feels like late September to me. And the wind kind of picking up, and it may be a factor here towards the end of this game.
Coach, 5 combined turnovers in the first half, couple of picks early for Doty from Sydney. Jake Johnson and Harkle Road got him both in the first quarter, and then the East turned it over 3 times, once in the first, twice in the second, a muff punt, a quarterback fumble, and then an interception for Stinson late from Alliance. It's been pretty disjointed. There's not been much rhythm for either of these teams on the offensive side. What has to happen for one of these teams to kind of gain an edge on that side of the football?
Well, just what you said, rhythm. Rhythm needs to happen. I think the team that strings 2 first downs together might be the team that takes control of the game. The East looks like they can run the ball, and just have had troubles, whether it's been those quarterback center exchange, getting behind the sticks. But give the West credit. Defense is flying around. Efren Lovato is playing really, really good in the middle of that West defense.
We'll have it's a shortened halftime. We've got less than a minute to go on the clock, so we're going to take our final halftime break. We'll come back and have third quarter action for you in just a moment after this 1-minute timeout on the.
You said yes. Together, you planned every detail. You married. And then you realized 500 square feet just isn't enough room for 2. When life happens, find a home that fits. First National Bank North Platte. Start your mortgage pre-approval today. You decide to add another to your family. You start reading parenting books. You're amazed that such a small human could need so much space. When life happens, find a home that fits. First National Bank North Platte. Start your mortgage pre-approval today.
KNEB presents country music rising star Dylan Scott. I'm hooked on kissing. Friday, August 16th at the historic Midwest Theater in Scottsbluff. Presented by Allo Communications and Viera Wireless. Tickets are on sale now at the Midwest Theater box office, by phone at 632-4311 or at MidwestTheater.com. Dylan Scott, August 16th at the historic Midwest Theater in Scottsbluff with KNEB.
They put a couple extra minutes on while these young men to get that body warmed back up. Coming out of the locker room, it had to feel a little bit different than what they were feeling in that first half. We've got temperature reading right now here in Scottsbluff showing 61 degrees. Wind from the north-northwest at around 15 miles an hour. Had rain for probably off and on a couple of hours before kickoff here, and we noticed the wet field conditions definitely had an effect in a bunch of different areas in that first half.
Yeah, it's been a factor on the football, the grip of the football, and I think the footing probably more than we can tell. Been tough to run outside. Haven't seen a lot of cutting. So, both teams are going to have to adapt to the situation. Both teams are playing on the same field. Team that handles it the best in the second half probably going to come out here with the W.
West Volleyball team a win today up at WNCC's Cougar Palace. Emerson Siza the MVP for the winning West team. They won the first 2 sets. East took the third in a marathon 29-27 to get back in it, but then the West wrapped up the match in the fourth, and then they won the 5th set. They play 5 regardless, and the West won 4 of the 5 sets today up at WNCC's Cougar Palace. Alliance former head coach Sandy Pilfold, longtime West-Nebraska All-Star Committee member, always kind enough to help out on the volleyball broadcast, and love having her expertise. She just got back from watching not Nebraska, but Team USA in Brazil and Lincoln a couple of nights ago. So she saw some high-level women's volleyball at the highest level at Pinnacle Bank Arena, and we saw some great action today with West-Nebraska West and East All-Stars up at Cougar Palace. They are going to get things teed up here in just a moment. It'll be the West kicking off to the east side. East yet to find the scoreboard. It's a 6-0 lead for the West side right now. And again, that lone touchdown of the game. First play after a fumbled snap for the East team that resulted in a turnover inside their 10-yard line. And Sydney's Eric Doty with a 9-yard touchdown pass to Lucas Paluchek from Ogallala. PAT wound up a poor snap. Holder picked it up, scrambled out to his left, couldn't connect with the receiver in the back left corner of the end zone. So a 6-0 lead for the West as we get set for the start of the second half. A shortened halftime. There's been rain. We've got some wind now at about 15 miles an hour, and temps will drop into the 50s here momentarily. Cameron Geary, low line drive kick picked up by North Platte St. Pat's Nick Neeson, and he got stuck over there. Lane McGinley of Valentine, 6 feet 180, I believe, first to arrive with the pop. You talked about Lotto. He is first to the line of scrimmage on the ball defensively, first to get back to the huddle, and he wants the ball snapped so he can go make a play.
That young man loves football. You can just tell in his body language. Having the time of his life out there.
Single receivers to the right and to the left. I formation. Handoff goes to Gabe Sainer, and there he is. Ephraim Lovato starting to make a case for the defensive MVP of the night, isn't he?
Yeah, he fought off a double team. Just active hands. Went and made a tackle for a 1-yard gain. Just an excellent effort play by Ephraim.
Tackled Gabe Sainer from McCook. 30 seconds gone by here in the second half. Third quarter action, ball inside the right hash. 2 receivers to the left. Broken eye formation behind Gary. He flips it to Sainert. Takes it across the 35, out to the 38-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 5 for the McCook Bison Grand. Played his football for head coach Jeff Gross. Always get a pretty good McCook representation here for the East at West-Nebraska All-Star Week.
Yeah, a lot of good football comes out of McCook. And we have a lot of good football here in the Panhandle and in this Western Nebraska All-Star game.
Chris Cottrell and Hemingford head coach Jordan Haas. Glad you're along tonight. KDB.TV, 101.7 The Trail, 880 KRVN in Lexington. Little middle screen set up, and reading it was Braden Fowler of Valentine. Almost one extra step back, and he would have got a hand on it, maybe come up with the interception. I believe dropped by Paxton Terry right over the middle, and that'll make it 4th down and about 5.
Looks like they had this screen kind of set up, and Braden made a good play. Definitely impacted the catch.
Cole punts the football end over end. It bounces at the 34. Justin Davis of Hemingford picks it up, runs right, far sideline, bumped out of bounds at around the 40-yard line, it looks like. Nope, they're going to mark him at the 43.
And Justin's only listed at 140 pounds, but I promise he's one of the toughest guys on the field to tackle. His leg drive is unbelievable for a guy of his size. His feet are always moving, and he's just strong as an ox.
Well, Coach, you talk about we've got good football out here in the Panhandle. Your program, one of the chief reasons why over the last 6-7 years, Coach. There's just no doubt about it.
We've been really fortunate to have great kids who are committed to the weight room.
Hand off to Evan Fisher. Good to see Fisher back in the game, the Chase County product. stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. He left, looked like maybe a little bit of an ankle tweak on that final drive of the first half. But he's back into the mix now for the West, and their head coach, Jimmy Rhodes, coaching his final game as a head coach. One of the assistants for Coach Rhodes this week was his assistant this last year at Mitchell, and Nick Cookshausen, and he'll take over head coaching duties for the Tigers. 2nd down and 10, 12 minutes and 41 seconds to play in the third quarter. 2 receivers to the wide side here to the left. Single receiver, Zane Anthony Akimble on the right. He's got his second catch of the night, brings it inside. 2-3 different defenders there in on the tackle. Hoffmaster from Cozad, also there to help out on the stop, North Platte's Jake Johnson.
Essentially a run play. You take off coverage, one-step stop route, get the ball out to Zane, see if he can make something happen.
Yeah, some of his numbers this past year were outstanding. Number of catches, well over like 1,600 total yards for the season, both receiving and rushing. Under 12 minutes to play. 2 receivers left. Shotgun snap to Doty. He'll fire it. Anthony's got his third catch of the night. Extra effort, dives across the line, needed for a first down, it looks like. We'll wait for the official signal, but I believe they will move the chains on a 7-yard gainer as Zane Anthony from Kimball makes the grab. Keegan Reifschneider comes back into the game now for the West. He'll replace Evan Fisher.
There's Zane's third catch of the night. One more to tie his uncle. Going to have to get a little deeper to break that yardage record, though.
Yeah. He'll take. If nothing else, you take 1 of 2. You know he's going to lobby for it.
Oh, yeah. Family bragging rights on the line here.
His uncle, I think, has his game jersey on from 1979 tonight. Quick toss. Running left, that's Shadron's Lemon. And he'll be stopped at the 41-yard line. Check that, the 46. Johnson from North Platte again in on the tackle. Also around the football was Gothenburg Sightsinger.
And they're letting them play inside. Saw some jersey grabbing, getting physical down in the trenches.
2 receivers to the right. Reifschneider in the slot. Anthony wide that side. I formation. Hand off to Lemon. Lemon, leg drive. Gets
Strong
it down to
man.
45. Yeah, there was nothing doing. That play could have been stopped for no gain at the 40. Instead, he just kept churning the legs, pumping the knees, and he takes it to the 35-yard line. A gain of 5, and that's a fresh set of downs now for the West. There you have it, Coach. That first team to move the chains a couple of times back-to-back, and if nothing else, you start to breed that confidence in yourself.
Yeah, it feels like they have something going here. They definitely have something going with the quick stop route.
I formation. Pitch from Doty to Lemon. Little cutback at around the 35, and able to pop his way to the 32-yard line for a gain of 3 for Jacob Lemon. 6 feet 170 out of Shadron. It'll bring up 2nd and 7. Ball on the right hash at the 32-yard line. Lone score of the night, Eric Doty for the West. A 9-yard touchdown pass. Doty from Sydney. Lucas Paluchek from Ogallala. 9-yard touchdown pass. That came with 14:26 to play in quarter number 2. Lemon dots the I. They'll pitch it to Lemon. He's got that ball in the inside hand, and that might have led to a turnover. It did. Running left, he had it in his right arm, and the hit right on the football.
Yep. And there's the field conditions again playing a factor. 6 turnovers tonight?
6 total turnovers. Each team with 3.
And that was tough. That looked like he might have had something if he would have cut it up inside a little bit sooner. East is pretty athletic getting to the edge, making plays.
9:52 to play in the third quarter, so a momentum shifting play. We'll see if the East can take advantage. And now we've got a flag Too many men on the field. They got 12. You can only have 11, folks.
That's wrong as well, Chris. You can only have 8.
Tonight, Coach. Tonight.
Might have got mixed up with personnel grouping for the formation set.
Yeah, it looked like Yordi Gutierrez from Arapahoe was that extra man on the field. They pitch it this time. Another McCook Bison running back. The toss goes to Bunger. 165-pound, 6-footer Alec Bunger. Stop and drop for a loss of 2. 9:27 to play. Clock continues to run. Ball left hash. Miles Peterson of Bertrand heads off the field before they break the huddle. So again, almost a situation with 12. Struggling to get lined up. Aaron Drews now, wide right. Gary, quick toss. Bocott on the catch from North Platte out to the 40-yard line. We'll see if they give him the 41.
Not going to count. I don't think that they did get set down here on the near side of the field.
Yep, Coach Rhodes not sweating it too much because he's about 2 feet from where that flag was dropped. So that'll wipe out about a 10 or 11-yard pass play.
And so now we see the East. Now they're going to run a hitch. We got off coverage.
False start the call on the East, so down marker had already moved back behind the line of scrimmage. And now they will move it back to the 25-yard line. 8:54 to play. One less day of preparation this year as well.
Yeah.
Check-in day and practices didn't start till Wednesday. Not sure if that has any effect on much of this.
You know, you're dealing with really smart kids, and these are the type of mistakes that you usually see in all-star games. Guys getting mixed up with their personnel groupings, some procedural type penalties. I'm not going to say that had something to do with it.
Shotgun snap to Gary. Gary the out route. Maddox there defending, and then over the top, Stinson from Alliance. Intended target appeared to be Dylan Geiser from Cozad. And the ball falls harmlessly incomplete, and it'll bring up a third down and long 17. 3rd and 17 now for the East All-Stars, trailing 6-0 with 8.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Bocott comes out to the right. Geiser in the slot that side. Shotgun snap. Gary, pump fake, steps up in the pocket. He'll loft one. He's got a man open, overshoots the intended target. Dylan Geiser. Cameron Geary slides over from his safety spot, the nearest defender. And now a 4th down and long. Coach has got his eye on Justin Davis. Bobcat back to return this kick. 8:23 to play. Adam Cole from Cozad in punt formation. Line of scrimmage is the East 30-yard line. Jeremiah Delzer of Scottsbluff trying to come off the left edge. Davis retreats. He's going to have a chance to maybe run back and pick this thing up. He's gonna at the 15. Comes left, reverses field, now comes back left. Gang tackled by 3 different players. Neeson was there. Also there from the east side on the play was Austin Wolf of Medicine Valley.
Cole got a hold of that one. Able to flip the field position.
Kicking with the wind.
And that's tough. You know, you try and step up so you can field the punt, and then he gets a hold of one and it sails over your head.
8:09 to play. I formation, Lemon the deep back. Doty's gone the distance under center. Doty takes the snap, play action. He'll roll Back to his left. Wants to fire it deep downfield. Reifschneider got a hand on the football. Also there making a play defensively was Dylan Geiser.
That would have been a pretty impressive catch.
It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. The wildest football game at the high school level I have ever seen occurred right here in the playoffs when Scottsbluff trailed big against Omaha Roncalli. Came back with 30-some unanswered. Won that game, I think, 62 or 64 to 36. You had the Dotzler kid break his wrist or break his arm. Just, it was one of the more bizarre, exciting, amazing football games I've ever seen.
That young man, Dotzler, I was so impressed with him as a high school quarterback. I have not seen a kid throw it around like that at the high school level, maybe ever. Very impressive. And too bad for him getting injured in that game the way that he did.
Came back, though, during basketball season, was lights out. Took the Pride all the way to the Class B state championship game. They had a great group of kids. It was just a real special night for Scottsbluff here at the stadium.
And
you mentioned those pass plays. Some of those true RPOs. You don't really see a lot of that at this level, and they were lights out.
There's colleges that would like to run the RPO game as well as that kid ran them. But credit to Scottsbluff, and here's a Scottsbluff grab.
Yeah, Reifschneider along the near sideline. Lemon on the 2nd down. He picked up 5 2 plays ago. And now they flip it out to Reifschneider, who makes the grab.
But a lot of credit goes to Scottsbluff and Scottsbluff coaching staff for keeping them in that game. You know, would have been pretty easy to fold up camp, being down the way they were. But the way that they were able to come back and then take control of that game running the football was pretty impressive as well.
Coach Benson said at halftime the players took control. Stood up, said this isn't going to happen the way it's happened so far in this first half. Cameron Gary, Reifschneider's catch came up 2 yards short of a first down. Gary's punt's going to bounce at the 45, roll across midfield, and the West will down the football at the East 47-yard line. We're down to 6:57 to play here in the third quarter. A 1st and 10 situation coming up now for the East, who is still looking for their first points of the night.
Wind looks like it's continuing to pick up, just judging by the flag and the trees around the stadium. And the East probably going to try and take advantage of that wind here in the last 7 minutes of the third quarter.
Still sitting at 61 degrees temperature-wise. A third quarterback has now taken a snap. That is Jake Hurton from North Central. Gabe Sainert takes the handoff from Hurton, and Sainert runs it across the 50-yard line to the 48 for a pickup of 5 for Gabe Sainert.
And my boy Ephraim causing trouble in the backfield again. Just a great get off. He's so quick off the ball, and he's a strong young man too.
Lining up at D tackle along the line. Hurton hands it off. Sainert tried to stutter step his way to the outside. First to arrive defensively that time was Lane McGinley. He's made some plays tonight as well. Been showing up from Valentine.
Talk about a good tradition. Valentine linebackers. I'll tell you what, we had a good one last year. DJ Steven. And McKinley fills just tough, hard-nosed kids come out of Valentine. It seems like every year.
5:42 to play. Starting to get late here in this third quarter. Still a 6-0 lead for the West squad tonight. We've got a whistle and a timeout taken by the East. 5:35 to play in the third quarter. West in front, 6-0. We're going to take a quick timeout and be back after this 30-second break on the rural.
Think a utility vehicle should do more than take you places? So does Kubota. That's why our all-new Sidekick is built to do it all. Climb more. Tow more. Go more. Cross over to more today. Take your Kubota Sidekick home with no money down and 0% financing for 36 months.
Your local Kubota dealer is Sandberg Implement in Gering.
sponsor on KNEB.
Chris Cottrell with you tonight, along with Hemmingford head football coach Jordan Haas. A definite high school football feel in the air here in June. 6-0 lead for the West. We've had rain late this afternoon, off and on here this evening. A wet Bearcat Stadium field has caused some issues here tonight. Hurton fires a pass, and that is a flat drop right there. Colton Munger from North Central had it right in his hands about 25 yards downfield and could not hang on to it. And that's the type of play the East has to have right now to build some momentum.
They needed that one. And Colton wishes he had that one back.
On third down to boot, and it brings up 4th and 5. And that ball was right where it needed to be from Hurton. 5:28 to play. Snap back, and Cole will punt it away. Nice spiraling kick. Davis going to have a chance to return this one. Fields it at the 10, runs near side, makes one man miss, and then the tackle is made shy of the 25-yard line. Stop made by Trayvon Brooks of Broken Bow. Good job to wrap up the elusive Davis. And the West will have it 1st and 10. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 23, maybe 24-yard line. We've got 5:20 to play here in the third quarter. They'll spot it at the left hash. And Coach Rhodes out past the numbers, having a quick visit with one of the officials, and now he puts the play call into the ear hole of Eric Doty, who's going to trot into the offensive huddle. 5:20 to play. St. Anthony's got those 3 grabs. He splits out wide right. The dangerous Reifschneider in the slot that side. Paluchek, single target off to the left. Blown back is Lemon. And Doty had the heat in a hurry coming from Dylan Boggs from Bertrand, and he dropped him for a loss. Back at around the 17-yard line, it'll bring up 2nd down and 17. Somebody missed an assignment up front.
Looked like a miscommunication maybe in the backfield. Saw a puller come left. Looked like they might have been running that inside trap play that they've run left. But then Doty rolled, not sure exactly, run past what was supposed to happen, but smart to just fall on the ball and live to play another down.
Quick toss to Justin Davis, and he's going to be dropped for a loss of 1, maybe 2.
And that's the tough part about the 8-man game coming to the 11-man game. You get outside in the 8-man game, you have one guy out there, maybe 2 guys out there, and now you're looking at 4 blue jerseys. And Justin, that's too many.
Paxton Terry of McCook made the stop in the backfield. It'll bring up 3rd down and 17. 2 backs, 1 to each side of Doty, who's in the shotgun. We go under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter, a 6-0 lead. Doty going to roll out to his left. We've got a flag down. He finds Paluchek for a catch at around the 26, 27-yard line. If the play stands, it'll be about a 10 or 11-yard gain, but Brian Cargill already signaling decline the penalty on that far side.
Had a hold on the rollout, and I feel bad for my lineman brothers. That's tough when the quarterback rolls out and you feel like you're making a good block and you can't see the quarterback roll. You just get a little grabby.
So the East will decline this holding penalty, and that'll make it 4th down. And after the completion, they'll mark the football at the 27, so a gain of 10, and it'll be 4th down and 7. Paluchek on the catch. He's made a few nice plays on the football tonight.
Nice receiver.
3:45 to play. Dillon punts the football away. Bounces, and the East, or check that, the West with Jake Lemon from Chadron. He downed it. I think that I touched someone for the West at shy of midfield, and they will put it at the 46-yard line.
Now we're seeing the breeze play a factor. Tough to punt into that stiff breeze.
Sets up good field position now for the East.
Really good field position for the East. They're going to want to take advantage here.
And they've had a couple of drives that started with some real nice field position tonight, and obviously to this point unable to capitalize. Hurton, the third quarterback, hands it off to Bunger. Well, he put a foot in the ground and then got outside. There's your guy, Justin Davis, up from the secondary, along with Sydney's Alec Maddox to make a tackle on McCook's Alec Bunger. All of it for not quite possibly. Another flag in the backfield, back around the East 48, 49-yard line. So a false start goes against the East team. And it'll make it now 1st and 15. You touched on it earlier. Behind the chains just means you cut your playbook in what? About a fourth? I mean, you're on the first page of the playbook when you're behind the chains, aren't you?
Yeah, you're just trying to get some of it back. I know a lot of times I go conservative, run the ball, try and get to a 2nd and 10, hopefully.
They'll hand it off to Gabe Sainert, and he's stopped. They're going to mark the football at midfield, and there's Lane McGinley once again from Valentine on the tackle, having himself quite the night defensively for the West Side.
Another good fill by Lane.
So McGinley and Lovato have been two major standouts defensively tonight for the West team. Jake Johnson, Harkle Road have picks defensively for the East. We've got 6 total turnovers in the game, 3 for each side. Hurton, quick toss, halfback pass. Defender Maddox did not bite, whiffed on the bat away, and it went right through the hands of Nick Bocott and dropped down around the 15-yard line.
That had a chance to be pretty dangerous. Didn't bite on it, but didn't get a hand on it. The swat attempt definitely affected the catch.
Yeah.
But still had a chance to make a play on the ball. And that's the type of play that the East just desperately needs to get something going in this game.
Yeah, the drop earlier on that pass on 3rd down that would have been about a 20 to 25-yard gainer really stands out as the real killer right now. Trips left, single receiver to the short side to the right. That's Bocott.
McGinley.
McGinley.
Lined up at defensive tackle there. 3rd and long, maybe pass rushing specialist type package for Coach Rhodes.
Also from Valentine, we've called his name defensively a few times. He came in late to help clean it up, Braden Fowler. 44 and 55. I'll bet you Valentine opponents got sick of coaches knew they had those numbers circled on the scout for their kids all week long.
As an offensive-minded guy, you're just trying to find a way to get those guys covered up, one way or the other.
Minute 55 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. 4th down and 24 right now for the East. Scoreless on the night. Cole, the lefty boot. Davis goes through his hands. He'll scramble back, muffs it, and the East now and on the fumble recovery. On the fumbled punt return from Justin Davis of Hemingford, and the East now set up in prime offensive field position. Get right back. You know, Davis is hurting after that one. Had his hands on his helmet the minute it got recovered, laying on the field.
Misplayed it, ran up on it, tried to catch it over his head, tried to pick it back up. Now the East has to capitalize. This is where we saw the West get their points.
1:37 to play in the 3rd quarter. Inside handoff is Hurton. believe that it was one of the Bison ball carries. I think that was Sainert. See who gets up off the pile. I think it was Paxton Terry on the carry. Gain of 2.
East maybe going to try and go a little power football here in the red zone.
Sainert from McCook checks back into the game. So Terry the up back, Sainert the deep back. 2 receivers to the short side. Ball right hash. Hurton under center. And a little inside trap play. Goes to Paxton Terry. Stretches it out, falls forward.
Guess who?
McGinley. Guy's been everywhere here in the second half.
Yes, sir. He's a little toss trap action. McGinley didn't bite. He's got his eyes where he needs to have it. Well-coached kid. Well-disciplined kid. He's right there to make the tackle.
30 seconds to go in the third quarter. 3rd down and 5. This would be 4-down territory, you would have to imagine, right now for the east side. Hurton going to play action, roll it out to his left. He's got Terry under through him, had to turn his entire body back to the middle and unable to hold on to it. He's mad at himself. He thinks he should have caught it, but that ball a little off target.
And Hurton's a little upset with himself, too, that he didn't put it on his chest. Maybe thought that there was an opportunity for Hurton to just maybe take off on that. Big 4th down here. We're going to see a field goal. We're going to go for it.
4th and 5, 16 seconds to play.
I think we're going for it here, Chris.
That appears to be the case. Hurton's going to line up in the shotgun. Terry flanks him to the left. 2 receivers each side. Wide side of the field's the left. Ball right hash. Hurton takes the shotgun snap. We've got a whistle and a flag flies.
Delay game.
From back around the goal line. Down around the goal line. If you have to go from 4th and 5 to 4th and 10, again, that starts to give the defense a... Now they're going to wave the flag off, huh? So they'll line it up again for a 4th down and 5 at the 12. Looks like Paxton Terry and McCook right now with a equipment issue. Something with the helmet. He's got it snapped back up.
So what we're probably going to see here is some sort of 2-man concept to the wide side of the field. Give yourself the best chance to make a play on the ball. And if it's not there, Hurton's a good athlete. Take off and run it.
Had Terry been able to just realize Hurton was going to run that last play, he could have turned into a real good lead blocker on the edge for him. Terry's to the left of Hurton. Shotgun snap. Hurton straight drop. Eludes some pressure of Delzer. Hurton throws back across the middle, and he's got a man. On the catch that time is Aaron Drews. Did he hold on to the football? I believe he did. That'll be a 1st down at around the 5-yard line.
That's a big-time play, a big-time catch, and he took a shot and still held on to the ball.
That is a big lick right there. Drews is down. The East will head to their sideline. We've got an injury timeout. 6 seconds to play in the third quarter. We'll step away quickly for a 30-second timeout on KNEB and the Rural Radio.
Homeowners and renters located in Nebraska counties declared federal disaster areas and who sustain damages caused by winter storms, flooding, and straight-line winds should register with FEMA. Survivors with storm losses can register by calling 1-800-621-3362 or by going online to disasterassistance.gov. The assistance FEMA provides is limited and intended to meet survivors' basic needs and to help jumpstart recovery efforts. A message from the state of Nebraska, the Nebraska Broadcasters Association, and this station.
First and goal, and after they spot the football, the final 6 seconds tick off the clock, so that'll give the East team a chance to fully regroup and get their I's dotted and T's crossed here as we'll start the fourth quarter with the West still leading 6-0 after 3 quarters of football. East will be knocking on the door. First and goal when we come back with the start of the fourth quarter after this 1-minute timeout on the Rural Radio Network.
Run with us in the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835 and be prepared to go the extra mile. Because when others take rain checks, we take the wheel. With 3 wide seating, heat, and AC, this is the coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us.
Visit 21st Century Equipment with locations in Scottsbluff, Torrington, Bridgeport, and Alliance.
Anyone driving through Nebraska knows we are a rich agricultural state. However, the recent blizzard and flooding have deeply hurt our ag community. If you're a farmer or rancher and need help, contact the Nebraska Department of Agriculture at 800-831-0550. If you feel overwhelmed with stress or other mental health issues, call the Nebraska Rural Response Hotline at 800-464-0258. A message from the state of Nebraska, the Nebraska Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Nearly 20 years.
Hemingford head football coach Jordan Haas. Double tight set, I formation, power football on the way. A big stick in the backfield. You know who it is, Coach.
Wayne McGinley. What a play.
McGinley with a pop on Dalton Harkle Road from Juanita Palisade, and McGinley has been the brightest shining star so far tonight. Either side of the ball, either sideline.
He has made a lot of plays from that middle linebacker position.
Grayson Gary back in at quarterback. We've seen Hurton on this drive. Now they're back to Gary, a bigger kid if he needs to pack it. Handoff goes to Sainert. And the McCook High grad powers his way inside the 5, down to around the 2-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal now for the East. A touchdown, an extra point away from taking the lead here in the 4th quarter. 14:05 to play in the ball game tonight.
Coach Cargill's going to trust his guys. He's going to say we're going to get 2 yards in 2 plays if we have to, but we're going to go in double tight. We're going to run the ball up the gut. False start.
False step, the left foot move for Harkle Road. He hasn't seen a lot of snaps back there tonight. False start. Boy, that's a killer at that spot on the field. Is he going for it on the next 2 plays regardless, or does it matter? Does it really kind of come down to what he gets here on this play, you think?
You know, they haven't been in the red zone. You know, I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head, but, you know, in my mind, I think they're going for it regardless if they don't get it here. Just give yourself an opportunity to tie and win the game.
Second red zone trip of the night. Little boot. Gary dumps it, and on the catch, but immediately falling to the turf is Colton Munger from North Central. So they get the football just inside the 5. Back edge of the football, going to be touching the 5-yard line. So really a gain of about 1. Maybe they're giving them 2 on the scoreboard. So 4th and goal from the 4. And Coach Cargill from Cozad for the East team this week going to go for it. Grayson Gary, the quarterback from Broken Bow. We've got a whistle. Cargill wants to take a little extra time to come up with the right play call. We'll step aside. 13:09 to play in the game. West leads the East 6-0. We're back after this 30-second timeout.
You can depend on us and all of the affiliates of the Rural Radio Network to give you up-to-the-second coverage on issues related to agriculture. On the air, online, and on your phone. We're advocates for agriculture, along with being broadcast journalists covering the stories and events encompassing the challenges of feeding America and the world in the 21st century. And we're proud to do it for you. The stations of the Rural Radio Network.
B-csteel.com.
Chris Cottrell and Jordan Haas, the head coach for the Hemingford Bobcats. Glad to have you along tonight for year 41 of the West-Nebraska All-Star football game in Scottsbluff at Bearcat Stadium. It's been a defensive slugfest tonight. 6-0 right now. West leads the East with 13:09 to play in the 4th quarter. trips left, shotgun set, 4th and goal from the 4 for the East as they look for a score and an extra point to take the lead. Gary rolls out, flips it across the middle. It's intercepted by Lane McGinley. Coach Haas said during the break, McGinley's going to make a play. He's been making them all night. Steps in front, makes the pick, and picks up a little return yardage to boot out to around the 13-yard line. Give him the MVP trophy.
Lane McGinley, anywhere and everywhere. Valentine Badger.
Lane McGinley, football player.
Lane McGinley, football man.
13 minutes to play. He's been sniffing out the pigskin all night long, and he does it in a key spot on 4th and goal, comes up with the pick. Huge play, 7th turnover combined of the night. Handoff goes to Hay Springs, Trent Reed. That's the type of play, straight ahead, where 6-8 man, 11 man, it doesn't matter. Just give it to Reed. And those extra defenders really not going to affect him running full steam ahead like that.
No, and he's a strong young man as well. Great leg drive. And that's the play that early in the game, the East had the advantage of the line of scrimmage. And that play right there, the West had the advantage in the middle of the line of scrimmage. Going to look to grind a little clock. The East needs to get a stop here, give themselves a chance.
Yeah, Reed picked up 6 on that carry. It's been Eric Doty from start to finish so far. Little quick toss out to Keegan Reifschneider, and that goes in and out of his hands, incomplete. Defending that time, the nearest defender was Leighton Bubach of South Loop. 12-14 to play.
Now the East here get a stop. Plenty of time left in the game. Get another drive going for themselves.
Bubach, man up on the left side. Single coverage over there. Handoff goes to Reed. The hurdle move for the second time tonight. Had some success the first time around. This time got about midair, and
that might have been Evan Fisher back in ball game.
Was that Fisher?
Looks like it.
Yep, sure was Fisher. So a short gainer of about 2, and that'll bring up 4th down and 2 in a punting situation. So credit the East defense, Coach. Could have kept your head down after the turnover, but they forced the 3 and out.
That's just what they needed.
11:35 to play. Dillon's kick bounces it around the 45. Grabbed by Gabe Sainert. He won't get credit for a tackle, but he was there to make sure Sainert knew he was in the neighborhood, and that was McGinley once again. 11:28 to play in the ball game. 6-0 still, the West. Well, maybe not being in control throughout. They've led throughout. Scored with 14:26 to play in the second quarter. First play after a East fumble. Doty hit Paluchek. Eric Doty from Sydney to Ogallala's Lucas Paluchek for a 9-yard touchdown pass. East has turned it over 4 times tonight. Handoff goes to McCook's Gabe Sainert. Takes it across the 40 out to the 42-yard line, a pickup of 6.
And that's a good drive starter.
2nd down and 4 coming up. Ball left hash. They'll spot it at the 42.
And here's where the difference in this game versus the regular season. We're just at 11 minutes. This is 1 minute into the fourth quarter. So all the time in the world, East get a drive put together here. Make it interesting.
They've got Hurton back under center. He'll hand it off to Nick Neeson from North Platte St. Pat's. And I believe that was Clark Reeson from Shadron. Also, our guy McGinley around the football.
Clark made a really nice fill. Kept his feet moving.
Short gainer on the play for the east side. Offset fullback to the left. Deep back, bobbled snap. They still get it to Sainert. He made a good decision to keep those legs churning straight ahead instead of trying to bounce it outside. Sainert able to pick up the first down across the 45 out to around the 47-yard line. That'll move the chains and set up a 1st and 10 for the east side, approaching midfield at their own 48.
And that's football IQ from Sainert, knowing exactly where the sticks are, what he has to get.
Inside give. This time it's Paxton Terry from McCook. My boss at Caney B, Craig Larson, good friends with Gabe Sainert's family. I was out with those folks last night for a little bit. Gabe's dad said that he enjoyed playing tennis as a young man coming up, and they sat and talked, and they said, whatever you want to do, we're going to support you. But if you want to play football, you're going to learn how to be a good young man. From Jeff Gross, he made the decision to play football. Safe to say that paid off. Paxton Terry tackled on the play that time by Oglala's Cameron Raffelli. He'll be a yard shy of the first down. 2-yard gain for Terry from McCook High.
Now the East is getting it going a little bit. Moving the line of scrimmage. Some pretty physical runs.
North Central quarterback Jake Hurton under center. Takes the snap, gives it to Paxton Terry. Terry spins out of one tackle. That's a first down gainer. Needed one, got about 10. Leave McGinley there on the tackle, but this time it was Paxton Terry with the big run down to the 35-yard line.
And they're going to stick. They're going to stick with it. They got something figured out inside here.
They got both the McCook backs cooking a little bit. Handoff goes to Sainert. Sainert slips one tackle, slides out to the right. Didn't look like a lot, but on a night like tonight, you'll take those 3 yards and get back to the huddle and call another one. Along the defensive line, making that play was Gage Hakey from Sandhills Thedford. On the stop, Raffelli at left defensive end. Fowler from Valentine, his opposite number on the right side. 2 receivers left. They will toss it. This time it goes to McCook, running back number 3, Alec Bunger. And Bunger ducks it in at around the numbers to the 30-yard line. Short gainer of about 2, and the East will have it now at the 30-yard line. We're down to 8 minutes to play, so they've taken nearly 4 minutes off the clock here on this drive alone. And those 3 and 4s, even in the midst of just one quarter, 3s and 4s, you keep hammering it, can turn into those 10, 12, and big gainers. You saw Terry moments ago pick up around 11. Bocott from North Platte goes out right. Inside receiver is Aaron Drews. Play action. They'll move Hurton. He dumps it again, throws to the inside shoulder of Paxton Terry, incomplete on 3rd and 5, and that'll make it 4th down now for the East.
And this is a tough area of the field. You're not really going to gain a bunch on a punt.
Hadn't been a lot of offense in general. This is an obvious go for it, I think.
Well, defense has played really, really well. Both sides. We're going to get them to go for it here.
Terry will be the lone back. He'll line up to the left of Hurton. The North Central quarterback in the shotgun. Trips right. And Bocott from North Platte got about a half step to a step jump on everyone else. And instead of 4th and 5, it'll be 4th and 10. Now what do you do?
Looks like we're going to keep the same personnel on the field.
7:27 to play here in the ball game tonight. Jimmy Rhodes and the West team looks like they might want to take a timeout. Let's see. Nope, it was just a defensive signal. 4th and 10 for the East. 7:27 to play. trips to the right. Bocott, the lone receiver, to the left. Jake Hurton under center takes the shotgun snap. Steps up in the pocket. Hurton's going to look to throw and left it in between two receivers who were about 10 yards apart. It falls harmlessly incomplete. Bocott, I think, is who he wanted. Stinson from Alliance, the nearest defender, and an incompletion on 4th and 10. The West will take over. They'll have it now at their own 35-yard line. One of these times when a quarterback steps up in the pocket, you expect a play to get made at some point.
At some point.
Buy a little extra time, maybe get a breakdown in the secondary. We just haven't seen it yet.
And I think the wind had a little bit more to do with that than we might see up here in the booth.
Pump fake.
Shot.
And the completion. Paluchek once again takes it across midfield inside the East 40. A 27-yard gainer. Lucas Paluchek has come up with 3 big grabs tonight.
Looked like a bubble go shot. Perfect time to take a shot on a change of possession like that.
Paluchek squarely in line for a possible offensive MVP nomination here tonight. The lone touchdown. He's got the big gainer there for 27, and now we've got a flag, and I think they left the huddle with too many men.
Coach Rhodes is begging for a timeout down there because he saw him break the huddle. Too many men. And the Mr. White Hat said, no, sir, that's going to be 5 yards.
7:01 to play in the fourth quarter. After the penalty now, a timeout. 7:01 to play. We'll come back after a quick break. A 30-second timeout right now in the Rural Radio.
For the card-carrying fan, get your Husker Visa debit card so you can take the game with you. Free with First Free Checking.
Certain restrictions may apply.
7:01 to play, fourth quarter. We're back on KNEB.TV, 101.7 The Trail, 880 KRVN out of Lexington, and of course at KNEB.com. 41st annual West-Nebraska All-Star football game. Points have been hard to come by. A 6-0 lead for the West with 7:01 to play in the fourth quarter. Too many men on the field cost the West 5. They're now looking at 1st and 15. The handoff this time goes to Trent Reed. Nope, that's Fisher once again. Fisher wearing 23. Reed's got 33. And you definitely can't go by helmets with all the different sticker combinations for these guys this week.
No,
that's one of the great things.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Trading stickers.
Yeah, trading stickers is right up there. I know that our kids hit me up, and they always want more.
I played in the All-Star game after the 1994 season the next summer in the state of Missouri, and it was the number one thing I bugged my coach about was enough helmet stickers to leave town with to go to Jefferson City. Trade with everybody. Another flag on the field. We're down to 6:18 to play.
And if the West wanted to run the football to try and kill some clock, this is not helping.
Yeah, they're not doing themselves any favors right now. It's a 3, soon to be 4-man officiating conversation. False start. Goes against the West All-Stars. It's been Eric Doty the entire way at quarterback for Jimmy Rhodes tonight. They'll move him back 5. Back out across the east 45-yard line to the 47. Check that 46-yard line, where it's now 2nd down and about 19 for the West. Zane Anthony will split wide right. Slot receiver to that side is Reif Schneider. Paluchek to the left. Pump fake. They got Paluchek. Pass is intercepted. Nice INT with a good hands. That's Dylan Geyser. Geyser tackled by Zane Anthony. Boy, he went up and exactly like you're taught.
Great hands catch. Play that the East really needed.
Eighth turnover of the night. 4 on each side, Coach. For the East, Sainert a muff punt. Cole a quarterback fumble. Stinson came up with an INT. And McGinley an INT for the West. For the East, Jake Johnson a pick. Harkle had a pick and long return. Lemon fumbled. And Geiser moments ago with the pick. 1st and 10. 5:48 to play, and the East has it back. Handoff running left side is Gabe Sainert from McCook. Dropped after about a 2-yard gain. That'll make it 2nd down and 8. 5.5 minutes to play. Clock continues to run here in the 4th quarter. Down to 5:20. Ball between the hash marks. 2nd and 8. East has it at their own 31-yard line. Terry the fullback. Cole's back in at quarterback. He runs right. We're going to have a holding call in the backfield against Colin Jerome of McCook. Lovato defensively in on the stop. But the penalty goes against the East team. There's first year's head coach for Scottsbluff, Judd Hall, down along the sideline, replacing Joe Benson. Coach Benson stepping away after Scottsbluff reached the Class B state championship this past season and got beat by Omaha Scott Catholic. Coach Hall for 10 years. He'll take over and do a tremendous job for the Bearcats coming up this fall. A lot of talent lost, but as always, a lot of talent back.
Not enough good things to say about Coach Benson. Wonderful man. Kind of a role model for me, how I would like to act and be. But the Scottsbluff program's in great hands. What a play.
There's a big completion. Adam Cole from Cozad, tight spiral down the far sideline. Could not make out the number on that far side. Bunger, it looks like, being helped off the field. Alec Bunger from McCook on the catch. Yard shy of midfield. Big completion for the East. They get some field position. 51 yards to Pater, trailing by 6, and now a whistle. Flags fly, and discombobulated before the snap of the football. A false start goes against the East side.
And this is one of the great things, about football. We have a 6-0 game. It's still very exciting. Games come in all shapes and sizes. You can have, like you talked about, the Class B game, 60 points scored. And you can have a 6-0 game and give you the same level of excitement.
6-0, 4:49 to play. Cole, handoff, goes to Sainert. Sainert met.
Clark Reason in the hole?
Yep, that was Reason. It's like McGinley. And like any good guy who loves to stack up the tackles, you find a way to get up last off the pile. McGinley doing exactly that a few times tonight.
You always try and trick the stack keepers. Hold on to that leg last, get up last. Maybe pad him up a little bit. I don't think McGinley needs any help padding his stats, though.
He's been outstanding tonight, the Valentine Badger. Clock runs, 4:12 to play here in the ball game. Trips left, single receiver, Bocott to the right. Cole looks left, comes back middle. Jeremiah Delzer, the Scottsbluff Bearcat, with the INT. Shoves the blocker out in front of him, lowers the helmet, takes it inside the 40-yard line, and Delzer with a big pick. He had a big game clincher against York here in the Class B semifinals at Bearcat Stadium. And that ball severely underthrown, dropping into coverage. Delzer comes up with the INT, and it's the West team creating their 5th turnover of the night. Three interceptions thrown by the east side. Stinson, McGinley, and Delzer have picks tonight for the West. 3:56 to play in the game. 6-0 lead. The West trying to hold on here late. Handoff goes to Hay Springs' Trent Reed. Not an easy guy to bring down at 190 pounds, but the east side drops him for maybe a gain of 1. We'll see where they mark the football. Hoffmaster around the ball.
Talk about a battle of alpha males like Coach Rode talked about in the open. Jake Johnson, Trent Reed, head to head, both driving their legs, stalemate.
Delzer getting the in-game sideline interview right now. 3:10 to play. Clock runs. Hand off to Reed. Stutter steps. Johnson again on the stop, but this time Reed able to get it to around the 31-yard line. That'll be a gain of 7 and set up a 3rd down and 3 now for the West side. Under 3 minutes to play. Clock goes under 2:50, in fact. Doty trots back onto the field to the offensive huddle for the West side.
This is big down here, Chris. First down. You feel pretty comfortable.
Full back. Nope, this will be a straight-ahead dive. You called it earlier with the rules and the way things are set up. You've got those gaps that quarterbacks could get up in and fall forward and pick up those short yardage plays with relative ease. Doty does exactly that. They're checking it. Will we get a measurement? Looks like we will. Just to be sure, they will bring the chains in. 2:08 to play in the football game. The West trying to salt it away with a first down. It was a 3rd and 3. Doty on the quarterback keep, off right guard that time. Fell forward. And we'll get the measurement right now and see if the West is inched a little closer to the winner's circle here tonight. And they have, as Doty picks up 3 and a tiny bit of chains to move them. 6-0 lead. They'll have it 1st and 10.
1 timeout for the East.
At the 28-yard line now for the West. Ball between the hash marks. Eric Doty.
Going to wait for the back official to count. He's a well-coached young man from Sydney. Snap the ball with as little time on the play clock as possible.
Down to 150. Now getting the count, and the handoff goes to Trent Reed. He's stacked up at the line of scrimmage, nothing doing. Hoffmaster in on the tackle. Sightsinger from Gothenburg there as well.
Trying to save that timeout. Set the ball, blow the whistle. They don't have to snap it until about 56 seconds left on the clock.
Right now the clock shows 1:10, continues to roll. It's Evan Fisher, the I-back right now for the West. Doty standing up. Now the countdown. He will get the snap. Toss goes to Fisher. Fisher runs right, still on his feet. Looks like probably a holding call. Right as he started to get fully north and south, and the body language from Jimmy Rhodes tells it all right there. A hold against the West.
You know, I don't know if the holding, the going out of bounds on that play hurts as well.
Clock sits at 48 seconds. And after the mark off, the football goes back to the 32-yard line. Behind the sticks, it's now going to be second down and around 13 for the West side. Just 48 seconds left in the fourth quarter as they have been protecting a 6-0 lead since the first 34 seconds of the second quarter. A damp game field here tonight has had an effect on things. Quick toss to Fisher. Neeson, he gets around the corner. Gary can't make the tackle. And Fisher eventually brought down. And now the East going to be forced to take that final timeout as Fisher, to your point from the play before, did a good job staying in bounds that time.
Yep. Had an opportunity where he could have stepped out, fought back so that he could stay in. You know, and that's a highly intelligent young man, well-coached young man. Chase County, excellent program. Coach Leonard's been there a long time.
6-0 lead. Both teams huddling up near their respective sidelines. Jimmy Rhodes with his final head coaching duties here tonight, turning the Mitchell High program over to his assistant coach and assistant this week, Nick Cookshausen.
So your situation here, snap the ball, chew up as much time on this play as possible, and then depending on how quick it gets set, you're going to be down under 10 seconds on fourth down. Whether you want to go for it, if you don't get it on this play. If you get it on this play, game's over and you can get in victory formation.
38 seconds to play.
About a 150% chance of a run play here, Chris.
Doty, the quarterback, on the keep. Snuck between center and left guard. Got it to the 20-yard line. Picked up about 5.
They're going to set it. Not going to get the play clock blown. They do not have to here.
That should do it. Down to 12. We go under 10 seconds to play. High fives around for the West side tonight. Jimmy Rhodes getting the bear hug from his young men and his assistant coaches. A victory for the West. The final score tonight, 6-0, as the West scored the only points with 14:26 to go in the second quarter. Eric Doty from Sydney to Lucas Paluchek, a 9-yard touchdown pass. Paluchek from Ogallala. Final score tonight, 6-0, West over the East. We're back after this 1-minute timeout on the.
You said yes. Together, you planned every detail. You married. And then you realized 500 square feet just isn't enough room for two. When life happens, find a home that fits. First National Bank North Platte. Start your mortgage pre-approval today. You decide to add another to your family. You start reading parenting books. You're amazed that such a small human could need so much space. When life happens, find a home that fits. First National Bank North Platte. Start your mortgage pre-approval today.
High Plains Auto Club presents the Father's Day Rock and Roll Classic, Friday, June 14th. Registration begins at 2 p.m. at the Gearing Civic Center. Your welcome barbecue, cruise for cash, ice cream social. Saturday, June 15th, parade, show and shine, and awards banquet. To enter, go to highplainsautoclub.com or call 308-631-6573. This event is sponsored by Culver's Restaurant, Massett Chevrolet, Robinson Electric, The Meat Shop.
And Great Boutique, now just down the street.
It's time now for the Runza Post-Game Show, presented by Runza Restaurants. Runza makes a great stop before or after every game. Win or lose, Runza makes it all better. Now, Now, with the Runza post-game show, once again, KNEB Sports Director Chris Cottrell.
And Jordan Haas with you here on the Runza post-game show. Coach, I was trying to fire off the game-ending tweet. It looks like we had to have both teams separate a little bit out there near the 35-yard line between the hash marks. What'd you see? Anything? Just a little talking, probably.
Yeah, a little talking back and forth. Highly competitive game. Really close game. Sorry, trying to listen to the MVPs here.
6-0 the final score. If Lane McGinley isn't taking home some bit of hardware tonight, cancel Christmas. West wrapping up with their post-game team huddle. East doing the same thing, a little closer to their sideline. 6-0 the final score. Not a whole lot to read, obviously, as far as the scoring sheet goes tonight. We'll do it right now. Lone points of the night. East had the football at their own 9-yard line. They fumbled it. West came up to the line of scrimmage. First play, 1st and goal from the 9. And Doty hit Paluchek for a 9-yard touchdown. Lane McGinley, a no-brainer as the defensive MVP here tonight.
And Lucas Paluchek, your offensive MVP tonight. Getting a hug from his head coach, Coach Bauer.
Yeah, Paluchek, I think, had 3 big catches. The lone touchdown came up with a 27-yard grab that moved the chains in the 4th quarter. Stahlbomber from Kozan picks up Sportsmanship Award.
Your sportsman and trophy from the West team. From the Sydney Red Raiders, Zach Pettit.
Zach Pettit picks up the Sportsmanship Award for the West side. Jimmy Rhodes said he stepped up as a leader from the minute these guys checked in on Wednesday afternoon. So Pettit and Stahlbomber, your 2 Sportsmanship Award winners. Lucas Paluchek of Ogallala picks up the offensive MVP for tonight. He scored the lone touchdown, a 9-yard catch from Eric Doty, and a couple of other big grabs, and really the best player on the football field tonight, at least from our perspective, was Lane McGinley of Valentine. He's 6 foot, 180 pound, played bigger than that linebacker here all over the place. Tackles, interception, we called him a football player. That's the definition of what he did tonight.
Yeah, and I called him a football man, and he's the alpha male that Coach Rhodes talked about in the open. Just made plays all over the field. Well coached and well disciplined. He was where he needed to be, and then he finished. Just can't say enough about that young man and the impact that he had on this game defensively.
6-0 final as the West wins it tonight over the East. We'll step away, come back with more on KDB.TV, 101.7 The Trail, 880 KRVN, and KDB.com after this 90-second timeout on the road.
At TC and More in Scottsbluff, we believe it's the little things that make your house a home. Start with home decor. Brighten up any room in your house with flags, wall decorations, and custom art pieces. Next, brighten up your wardrobe with clothing and accessories like jewelry and purses from the Myra collection. And remember, seniors and military members receive an additional 10% discount. Visit our website, tcandmore.com, and like us on Facebook, TC and More, 1621 Broadway, beautiful downtown Scottsbluff. Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver and a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today. Plus, all United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flight. Finally, while visiting Western Nebraska Regional Airport, grab a bite to eat at the Flight Deck Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
Clearing Services, LLC, member.
Sometimes events in life are planned. Others, a happy surprise. No matter what life change you're navigating, whether you're getting married or just want a bigger yard for your pup, find a home that fits. First National Bank North Platte. Start your mortgage pre-approval today. Retirement. A new season in life where you can change how you live it. And something easier, convenient, that feels just right. When it's time, find a home that fits. First National Bank North Platte. Start your mortgage pre-approval today.
For the card-carrying fan, get your Husker Visa debit card so you can take the game with you. Free with First Free Checking.
Get in with your buddies, your team, your new buddies and new teammates, but you're going to see friendships. You're going to see people, family members, girlfriends, cousins, and this is where you really impact of the game and how far it stretches.
You know, I mentioned it last night. I was over at the Scottsbluff High Activities Year-End Awards Banquet the last year, and I try to make the point to men and women that, because a lot of these guys, some of these guys are sports now. After tonight, make sure you find your mom and dad, give them a big hug. Every one of these biggest supporters and fans since they were little kids, and having sports done for mom and dad for the kids is kind of a soul crusher as well. So hopefully they're taking the time to give those big hugs to moms, dads, and grandmas and grandpas out there.
Absolutely. And, you know, the sacrifice that the parents of these kids make, getting them to practice when they're younger, going to all the games, supporting them, and the unconditional support when they get home. Maybe they had a bad day of practice, a poor game, something like that. I know we talked to our team so much, that unconditional support that you can get from your parents. When you had a bad day, just get an arm around you and say, "I love you, son." And that's really, really important, and that helps create the good young men that we have out.
Great times right now out on the game field here at Bearcat Stadium. Final score West over the East 6-0 as the West gets back into the win column here in the summer of 2019. Coach Haas now come back with some closing thoughts right after this 90-second timeout on the Rural Radio Network.
We can't warn Debbie that we just clean the window. Sorry. But we can make you a bowl of homemade chili. Runza makes it all better.
You can also rent tables. We have everything you need, including unique gifts and home decor. Bluff Sanitary Supply, 14 East 14th Street in downtown Scottsbluff. Bluff Sanitary Supply for all your party needs.
Elevated screen.
You know, you're kind of on the right track.
Is it drive?
You mean because of Uber and Lyft and all of that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, not many people drive anymore.
The answer, believe it or not, is spend money on alcohol.
Wow.
Which, if you think about it, kind of doesn't correlate with your answer, because if they were drinking alcohol a lot, they'd be calling more Ubers, right?
How about
exceptional care right here at home? That's the mission of Morrill County Community Hospital. Morrill County Community Hospital is a 20-bed critical access hospital that owns and operates clinics throughout Bridgeport, including specialty outreach clinics and Morrill County Home Health Clinic, as well as
No, there ain't much man that ain't ever let me down.
A loved one. Come see us at 13 West Overland in Scottsbluff or give us a call at 632-4616. Hersted's is proud to be a high school sports sponsor on KNEB.
And Hemingford head football coach Jordan Haas back to wrap things up tonight here at Bearcat Stadium in Scottsbluff. They've struggled tonight, won by the West. The finals 0. Your lone night came with 14:26 to go in the first half. Early action after gave the West team just inside the 10-yard line. A from the 9. A first play of the 9-yard touchdown pass from Sydney's air to Lucas Palucci. Winds up offensive MVP of the game tonight. Defensive MVP also from the West. From Valentine Long. And your sportsmanship winners, Stall Bomber from Cozad and Zach from Sydney take home some hardware tonight. Also, Coach, we said 9 turnovers, and along with a defensive ball game, we talked about that, but I think earlier this afternoon. A little slip, nowhere near a deluge of any sort at any point. Long. We saw issues from back exchange, running plant, maybe even a few footballs when quarterbacks released it down the field. So weather kind of creates game.
Well, I think it impacts 9 turnovers is a lot of turnovers for a football game, and the field probably had it. Not used to playing cold, wet, rainy on June 8th, right?
Yeah.
So, but in the end, the team that overcame the best got the. But down, Miles had a part in the game tonight.
I want to thank great listeners in the region, TV, and 101 Trail. Hope you folks across the state 80 KR action tonight. Nothing. TJ, the T camera crew, and Living Candy Studios air. Everything else in between on 101.0. You get to do this a year, 2 of the last 3. Anytime you're not this game, I want you up here. It sound good?
Well, it's a pleasure to be as Caney B does, and a pleasure to come sit in the.
Appreciate the kind word. We'll exit stage left. But once again, find tonight on TV 101 880 KR and Caney B over the first annual West-Nebraska All-Star game. West wins it score nothing. Everybody enjoys the rest of their so long and good night in that club.